Well, what's funny is we had talked about it when John and Wendy were here. We were like, we have to have some type of a tagline, something that people will recognize. And we were just sitting around. We were at Old Ellsworth drinking, and we said, how about news, brews, and hookers? and nothing ever came of it, We never put it on a T-shirt or nothing like that. So finally, when I redid the intro, I'm like, yeah, I'm doing that. I'm doing that. So
it's time.
Yeah. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Coffee Table Chronicles, and our cameras are switched. It always does that. I don't know why it does that.
We're supposed to be the other way.
Yeah, because I'm looking that way, but then my head's off to the screen the other way, so it gets kind of weird. What is today's date? Today is May 3rd, right? Jesus.
Wow.
It's going by so fast.
Crazy.
I don't even know. It's just nuts.
Most of the time, I don't know what day it is or what time of the day it is.
I don't either.
I get caught. I get caught a lot of times because I'm working really late, and I'll be texting somebody that I need to talk to or whatever, and I'll get a really dude, and I'll look down and I'm like, oh my God, it's 12 o'clock at night. My buddy Tim, he goes to bed at 5 and he gets up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and he's like, seriously, you just can't wait till tomorrow? I'm asking him about some like part or something, something that, hey, is that trailer available? He's like, really, dude? Man, sorry about that.
That's funny. That's funny. Hey, you lose track of time, especially you guys. I mean, as busy as you are, geez. I mean,
it gets pretty crazy.
I can't imagine. Yeah. So let's welcome our guests. We have James and Kevin.
Hi.
Hello.
Really happy to have you guys on tonight. It's been a long time in the making, trying to get you guys on, but obviously, as busy schedules prevail,
Glad to be here.
It's hard to do. So
sometimes you just have to make it a point to schedule something and keep on track.
Just say, hey, we're doing it.
That's right. That's exactly what we did with this too.
Yeah. I've been blowing up your daughter's phone like crazy.
I know.
So,
She says, she's like, Dad, seriously, would you please just make time to go? I'm like, honey, I want to go. I want to go really bad, but when I'm on that side of town building something, it's hard to get here.
Yeah.
So,
well, we definitely appreciate it, and our audience appreciates it for sure.
Yeah, seriously.
We turned our audience onto your coffee, and everybody has raved about it, and obviously we love it too. It's really all we drink now. So, so it's really good.
Thank you.
So,
we appreciate it. Yeah.
No,
it's a labor of love, honestly.
and what I love about it, we'll get into this more, but I just love that it's a family thing.
Right.
I mean, you guys, when I look at you, I look at the American dream, right? I mean, you guys built something from the ground up, and now you're doing it as a family. I mean, that's friggin' awesome. How much better does it get than that?
Yeah, it really doesn't. It's for me, that's it's the best thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
I mean, by far, I love working with the kids. And I mean, they're not kids, but they're my kids.
They'll always be your kids.
They'll always be my kids.
Right.
And, I mean, you've been to the gun shows. You know how many there are. There's literally dozens of them coming from all places and corners of the state. And we have people that drive all the way for 3.5 hours just to come up to be with at our gun shows to work with us. And I mean, they're family. You know, that's great. I can remember being a kid and even working for my mom and dad, and everybody's like, oh, you must love working for your parents. I'm like, I don't know. It's like sweeping parking lots, covered in dirt all the time. And I'm crawling at Beaudry RV at 3 a.m. under RVs trying to blow dirt out. I go, I'm not sure that I love this, but it's what I have to do. Right. It's my job. And now I actually understand what it is to love what you do.
And that's hard. That's hard. I've met so many people over the years that, you know what, they make good money at what they do, but they're not happy. If you ask them what they'd rather be doing, it's 90% of the time it's something else, some passion of theirs that they want to be doing, but they can't, because let's face it, we got to pay bills, right? And that's the way it goes. But that's awesome. You guys have an awesome story.
Yeah,
that's very cool.
We appreciate it.
Yeah. Just want to say hi to everybody real quick. What's up, Kathleen, Christine? Good to see you. Mom Catch Rock and Eats. Spouse to Books is my dad. Kathleen is my mom.
Hey, how you doing?
Good to see you guys jumping on. So we do a thing called Memes of the Week. And I don't have a lot this week, but we try to bring in some funny memes. And John sent over a few. By the way, for those of you that don't remember, John and Wendy are on the road today heading to North Carolina. So good trip to them. They're starting a new chapter in their life.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for them. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Good.
So they're working towards retirement.
Really?
So, yeah.
Oh, that's great.
So
they get a house?
They're renting a place. They're building a barn-dominium. So they bought some property.
Wow.
And they're building a barn-dominium.
Right. That's my wife's dream. Every
it?
time. Yeah, she's
too.
she's constantly going, look at this one. Look at this one. I'm going, where are we going to put that? We live in Mesa.
It's going to cost
what are we
us a
gonna
lot
do?
of money.
Yeah.
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 my God.
It's like driving somebody else's new truck. It's a bad idea. It's just a bad idea.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, I've looked at some of them. I had no idea what the hell they were, and I looked them up, and actually some of them are pretty nice.
oh yeah. Real nice.
Especially if they got like 40 acres attached to
Well,
them.
yeah.
They're real good.
That would,
Real good.
yeah. You can't touch 40 acres here anymore.
Yeah,
You know?
you
Yeah.
couldn't afford one if you could find it.
I'm
It'd
lucky
have
if
to be
you
on
can-
a golf course.
Yeah, pretty much. Even up north, I was looking at property up north, and it's still expensive up north. Like you go Holbrook area, Show area, it's really expensive. Oh,
yeah.
I'm like, well, so much for building my getaway home up in the in the woods.
Not going to happen.
Not going to happen
High
anytime
desert.
soon. Yeah, unless I win the lottery. So, so I thought this one was funny. Coffee, only one cup, please. that's kind of like me.
Well, that was, the gun show. That's about what you guys had.
Pretty much. I thought this was good. What do you mean there's no coffee? That one was good. This one's funny too. I saw this. Don't worry about my coffee consumption. Worry about what I do without it. And I know people like that. People are pretty grouchy when they don't get their coffee. This is funny. I'm no baseball player, but it's just a shortstop.
That's
That
good.
was sent in by John. That was funny. What's your idea of a perfect date? My date. That's true to these generations, huh?
Yeah, really.
Eye test. If you see watermelon is red, you're normal. Green, you're sick. See a doctor. Blue, you need a new gun.
Damn.
Wow, we need to get some blue watermelon at the gun show. We're gonna serve that next time.
I found this is an old advertisement. That was kind of cool.
Yeah,
You
I've
can
seen
sleep
that
when
one.
you're dead,
That's right.
right?
Yep.
So we have an interesting quiz tonight on coffee. So we'll get to that toward the end. It'll be a lot of fun.
right.
I found some pretty cool questions. I was surprised by some of the answers too. So we'll see what you guys think of it.
All right.
At the end.
Let's do it.
So let's get into it. Let's talk about the gun shows. Let's talk about the coffee. How'd you guys get started? How'd this all come to fruition?
Well, the very first idea that we wanted to produce gun shows, I was selling ammo, going all around the state, just hitting every little gun show that I could. And we ended up realizing that this is something that we could do. And we could do it fairly well because my background before that was in large scale events.
Okay.
So, for other people, big events. And it turned out to be, we were in Wilcox. We were at the Rex Allen Days.
Okay.
Visiting our friends, the Prestons. And we were at the, what do you call it? The parade.
Okay.
So I used to help produce the parade in downtown Phoenix, Fiesta Bowl parade. And that parade lasted 45 minutes. The parade in Wilcox lasted almost 2 hours.
Holy cow!
And this is Wilcox, right? This is like everybody's walking down the street carrying a gun. They got a hoop skirt on. There's John Deere tractors. There's tractor pull trucks. There's just every kind of piece of implement or equipment. I was like, this is how I grew up. This is
Right.
the farm in Ohio when I used to go back with my grandma and grandpa and my uncles, right? So I looked at Chad and I go, dude, we have got to put on a gun show in this town. We have to do it. And he looks at me and goes, oh yeah, that would be really cool. And I go, absolutely. This is Americana. This is what this country is founded on. This is what it used to be,
Right.
and what it should always be. And so on the way home, I found the promoter of the event, the guy that had been fostering it and nurturing it for the last 15 years. And I called him, and he answered the phone. He goes, this is Michael. And I go, Michael, it's James Ballantyne. I was at the Rex Allen Days. I thought it was a fantastic event. I live in Mesa. I go, and I would love to produce a gun show for the Rex Allen Days. Do you think that's a possibility? And he says, really? And I said, yeah. He goes, you're not going to believe this, but me and my wife have been talking about doing a gun show as another event to tie into Rex Allen Days. And we were literally talking about it a half an hour ago.
Wow.
And I said, well, I'm your guy. And he says, well, how many have you done? And I said, with yours, including the one that we're going to do for you, 1. And he goes, how do you, well, what's your background? Why do you think you can do it? I go, I've been to 75 gun shows over the last 6 years selling ammo. I know I can produce this event without any problem. And I went into the background a little bit, and he's like, you know what? Let's do it. So he set up the building. He figured out the building for us, and we've had that gun show ever since.
That's cool.
And they love us, and we love them. And the thing that we do, we bring something to the community. We don't take away from the community, right? Like our theory is we want to benefit your event. Every time there's Rex Allen Days, there's the parade, there's the truck pulls, there's the carnival rides, all that. Used to be, there was a huge girls softball tournament. There's the rodeo, right? And we're the gun show, and we're all the same family of events, right? We advertise,
right?
We work together. We help each other out. We support their charities. They help drive food trucks and stuff our way. You know, I mean, it's a family event, just like this is a family.
Right.
Our gun shows are designed to bring something to the community, not to show up, suck a bunch of money out, piss all the neighbors off, make all the local gun shops be mad, and then bail. Right. Every town I go into with a gun show, no matter where it is, we offer the local gun shops free tables. We want them to be in the front of the building advertising their shop. We're there 1 day or 2 days. They're there 365 days a year.
Yep.
And we want it to be a benefit to the community. And that's why people want us back. That's why they hey, when's the gun show? Hey, when's the gun show? You know, the Casa Grande Gun Show, we will start getting phone calls. I'll start getting phone calls in September. Hey, when's the gun show coming back? Hey, when's the gun show coming back? You know, hey, that's the boss. Sorry about that. I thought I'd silence that. Anyway, the gun shows started the coffee business in that we started selling Black Rifle coffee at the gun shows. And because they were brand new,
Right.
I thought it was a cool novelty. We need coffee. I mean, the old guys, Kev will attest to this, the old guys, when they show up to set everything up, if the coffee's not ready 20 minutes before you open the doors, they're like, hey, I thought you were a coffee company. Where's the coffee? There's the coffee. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're like just totally, well, I don't see any coffee. Oh my gosh, give him a minute. He's got to make it, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's how we started it, right? We did that for a couple of years, and we were selling a lot of Black Rifle coffee. And then the situation changed with them. Their business model changed, and they decided that it wasn't easy for them to work with smaller people, smaller companies. They wanted to go a completely different, very large corporate structure direction, which you kind of know what I'm talking about,
Yep.
which usually muddies the water and taints the entire operation. And we just decided, you know what? I think it was Kev, you or Sid said, let's just do our own coffee. Let's make our own coffee. Let's figure it out. And I was like, all right, let's do it. Right? That's a great idea. I always tell these guys, if you have an idea, let's hear it. I don't care how crazy you think it is. I don't care what it is. Let's discuss it. I think, great ideas come from everywhere all the time. All you have to do is recognize them. And these guys were like, well, what if we did like an ammunition themed coffee? I'm like, well, I don't know much about coffee, but I know a lot about ammo. And I got 6 platforms where we can start pushing that stuff out the door. So let's figure it out. And that's how it started. mean, that's just it. That's just that simple.
So what type of research? I mean, you can't just wake up one day and go, hey, we're going to start making our own coffee. I mean, obviously there's a lot that goes into it. I mean,
There was a lot of market research before even I got into helping with the gun shows. I used to go get coffee every morning before I went to work. I knew a place that I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, and I know what they're doing, and I think I can do it better. Like it tastes good, but there's got to be a way to do it better.
Right.
And that's kind of how it just kind of was a seed that was planted, and then I kind of replicated a little bit from what they did and thought, how can we make better of what we're doing? And we kind of came up with something that worked really well, at least so far. Anyway.
Yeah.
9-10 months in. So,
So what do you, I mean, and I don't know if you can share this information. I don't know if it's like a top secret thing or not, but like your beans, I mean, how do you go about getting beans? I mean, because they come from where? Is it Costa Rica or Brazil or something like that they come from?
so there's coffee beans come from many sources, usually close to the equator because that's where coffee grows the best. There's only a few places in the United States that coffee grows. Hawaii is one of them. Puerto Rico is another one. Other than that, it doesn't really grow. So you have to import everything. So there's a lot of places that are like co-ops that for smaller roasteries, you can go out and buy market beans of anything from Ethiopians to Mexicans and Guatemalans, Costa Ricans. So many different types of coffee can be imported into a place, and you can buy them like commodities. You can buy futures and do it that way, or you can buy spot and pick them up wherever they stand on the scale, and then you can get them shipped and delivered, and then you can roast them up. So that's the easiest way to kind of explain it is it comes from a guy that imports them, and he knows everything, the grading and all sorts of crazy things. And you can literally get on the website and request a quote, and they'll send you what it is, and you buy it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that is interesting is how big the coffee bean industry really is. Like the coffee industry, and this is one of the reasons why we were coming back. I think we were on a road trip, and we were coming back, and I was talking to, it was either Kevin or Alex, I can't remember who it was, and the market cap at the time, we were talking about all kinds of stuff. It started with turbines and stuff. We were driving by and looking and seeing stuff, and the market cap in the firearms industry as a total at the time that we were doing this, which has been quite a few years ago, the market cap was like $2.3 billion. And at the same time, we started talking about Starbucks and like what was Starbucks and how do they start and what's the backstory and I'm quizzing everybody all the time about money. Like how big is it? How many is that? What does that look like? And Starbucks or coffee in general, the industry in general was 24B. It was $24 billion. And the little light bulb went, wow, it'd be way easier to make money in an industry that's $24 billion
right.
and non-political than the firearms industry, which is 2.5 or 3.
Extremely
and
political.
Massively political.
Yeah.
And so, that was kind of the back light bulb. Right. And so these guys, when they started coming to me with this stuff, I was like, that sounds pretty good. So, it's a huge deal. It's a huge deal. And for us, it's probably the biggest thing, including, we've got the wedding venue, we've got the gin, we've got, all these different things that we're doing. But I think the coffee industry really, especially how we're doing it, American, patriotic, this is the real red, white, and blue stuff. And I think that's why it hits so well. Yeah. And it's just the right place, right time.
Yeah, the people in this area really want something that is the anti-Starbucks, the anti-Dutch Brothers. They want something that is true, that is local, that is not necessarily political,
right?
But American based, Second Amendment based, freedom based, and that's kind of what we preach around the coffee shop. Is you don't necessarily have to vote the same way we do, you don't have to think the same way we do, except for on the fact that you love America,
right,
and you love the Second Amendment.
Right.
And if you can get those two things, the coffee is just a bonus, and it's just a reason for you to come in through the drive-through and talk to me and let's have a conversation.
Right.
And I think that really what we're doing here is more than just a coffee shop. It's more than just, selling sugary drinks. I mean, really, and some of them aren't really sugary. Some of them are really delicious, good coffee. But I think that it's really more about trying to maintain a community of people that think the way that we do and hold on to those values in a world that seems to disregard everything, even though they say that the popular opinion is one way, but I don't think that that's necessarily true.
Yeah.
I think that's just where the corporate money from large banks goes. And if you're not woke and you don't think that way and you don't put out Bud Light commercials that are like that, then you're gonna not get funded. And that's what it's, so you have to do it. So it is what it is, but it's a terrible thing. But I think that the biggest thing when people come through the drive-thrus, other than raving about how good the coffee is, it's the fact that they can sit there and talk about oh yeah, we do support our police and we do, support the Second Amendment, and we're going to go out and teach my kids how to shoot and do all this kind of pro-American things. And they have somebody that they know that the whole rest of the world isn't as crazy as what, it might seem.
Right.
One of the things that we really try to do is help, like we're infused into the community. That started even before the gun shows, really, but it has really carried through Santan. I really believe my place is as much Santan as it is Mesa. Mm-hmm. Born and raised, never lived more than 4 miles from where I was born in Mesa. I feel like Santan is our home, and I think the people in Santan feel that way about us. We just we just took a sponsorship of the Combs Clay Crushers. They have a trap and skeet team at Combs, and we just did a nice sponsorship with them.
That's cool.
And we want to be a part of working on the football and cheer at Queen Creek. Yeah, Queen Creek High School.
A bunch of places that are around us that we can actually make a difference with, especially the kids, because coffee, it does black drip coffee. It attracts to all the old gun show guys, but it actually spans all the way to the kids where we do the energy drinks and stuff like that. We get kids coming through that are I'm really excited. This is an American place, and they drive lifted trucks, and they're still oh my God, wow, there's still these kind of kids that
that's
that are
cool
around.
to see that.
It is.
That's awesome.
Really is. Kids that really want their driver's license the day that they can get their driver's license.
Right.
Not at 26 driving a Prius or a, whatever.
Electric car.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And that's what this is. This isn't all about coffee. It's not all about gun shows. It's about America.
Right.
It's about red, white, and blue. It's about what we used to be and what we can be as a society, as people, as individuals, The golden rules.
And one thing I've always been a believer in, even before we started this show, I've always been a believer in supporting local. Always support local, because the big corporations kiss my ass. Local's where it's at. That's the heart of America, right?
It is.
And I think if a lot more local companies would take the approach you guys would take, these pockets of the true American ideal would start to build. And I think eventually we can snuff out the rest of the bowl.
I think what happens is it kind of, those people like us kind of feel excluded. And more people that you try to be inclusive about,
right,
the more you separate people, and the more that people that are just over here trying to make a living for the family, and they're just going to church and they're doing the thing and they're working hard, and when they feel that they're not a part of what's going on, we feel excluded. So
right.
It kind of gives us a place to recognize people of the same value. And you know what I mean? And that necessarily doesn't always, sometimes we've attracted some people just because there's a line outside the coffee shop, and that somebody sees coffee and they pull in. And I had a very long disagreement with a lady about a month ago who
A very long disagreement
about assault rifles and all sorts of stuff.
Oh, boy.
It was, but I said, hey, you're always welcome to come back and have a conversation with me. Let's find some common ground, because I guarantee you that we agree more than we disagree.
Right.
And I think that especially in this area, all of these people around us, I think we like and would agree on way more things if we just communicated with our neighbors.
Well, and that's the thing we lost as a country is we can't have those conversations anymore without somebody getting so offended that they just, throw their hands up, storm, and walk away. You know what I mean? We used to be able to have a conversation just because I don't agree with you on something. Well, let's talk about it. Why don't I agree with you? Maybe you bring up a good point that I never thought about, or maybe I bring up a good point you never thought about. But that's the thing. We lost that. We don't know how to have those conversations anymore. Because everything is this.
Right.
Yeah.
We lost that. We lost that when we lost the front porch of a house. So
yeah.
if you go back to the Midwest, our roots are from northern Ohio, and all the farmhouses and even the houses in town that aren't farmhouses, every one of them has a front porch. It has a sidewalk that walks up. There's a railing, and there's one after another. And those people know their neighbors. They know their names. They know how long they've lived there. They know that your dog needs watching, and little Jimmy's going to mow my yard. We've lost all of that when we've built these houses and all these little pigeonhole, cubbyhole little places that we live in, these little boxes. We close our doors. There's not even enough room between the houses that are built that you can walk sideways with broad shoulders. And yet we don't know anyone that lives next to us.
No.
I go into my house, I shut my door. I don't want to hear from you. I don't want to see you. This is not America. Right. This is not what this country was founded upon. This is a melting pot of everybody, every religion, every color, every nationality. It doesn't matter. And the more the powers to be try to divide us, they try to control us. They take that power away from us by splitting us up into little tiny pieces, and then we can't speak or talk to each other without offending each other. They're winning.
Right.
They're winning every day. Have a conversation with your neighbor. Go up, shake somebody's hand, tell them you like their car, whatever it is that attracts you. That's my thing, and it drives everybody crazy in my family, because we're supposed to go from here to there, and when I leave here, we have this amount of time to get there, and I'm an hour late because I talked to 16 people in between here and there, right? But that's just what the world should be.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand.
That's what it was back in the day.
It is exactly what
yeah.
it used to be, right? So
we did have a question. Your coffee's great, but do you have plans to introduce K-Cups? That's my dad.
And that is a good question. I was going to ask Kevin and said that myself.
We have looked into it. It is very expensive, especially now because K-Cup, you have to have the proprietary lid on it, or it doesn't, it reads the scans in, all sorts of stuff. It's very expensive. So the idea is to actually do one of the reusable cups and come in and have the coffee ground fresh from us, and it'll be just as good. A little bit more work, but
will we be marketing those little cups and our logos and stuff so people can have that as a
in the future?
Nice.
Signing me up for more work than I already.
Right? He's like, thanks.
Thanks.
And you heard it live on the show too, right?
From Kevin.
Yeah. So Christine says exactly where I'm at in Ohio. We still do that. We know everyone in our neighborhood, and we watch out for each other like a family.
That's awesome. That's how it should be. Yep.
So a buddy of ours lives up in Verrado, and they kind of do the same thing. Every Friday night, they do what they call Friday night fires, and everybody comes out, and they live in a cul-de-sac, and they all come out, and they have the fire pits going. They all sit outside, drink, hang out, have conversations. So we need to start doing more of that.
We do.
So every Halloween, Halloween's my thing.
Yeah,
So
same here. Same with us.
This is great.
So I live in the end of a cul-de-sac in Power Ranch, and it's
Okay,
a very divided up, small neighborhood like he's talking about. But I'm at the very center, and the road faces me, and so I'm the king of my cul-de-sac, is what
Right.
I've deemed myself. Probably why I'm having HOA problems. But hey, you know what? We don't go there. And so I always with the wedding venue, we always get some free alcohol that ends up at the. So this year I did free beer and candy, so the kids could come around and get their candy, and I had a big cooler out, and all the parents came around, and I met all my neighbors for the
That's awesome.
for the first time. In my cul-de-sac, I know a few of the guys, but 2 and 3 streets over, everybody came over. I put signs out on the road and directed everybody. Free beer gets you all sorts of cool friends.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen any of them since because I guess, whatever. But hey, you know what? Next Halloween we'll put another case of beer out and we'll see what happens. But I've always done that since I moved out of my parents' house. I went down to school in Tucson, and we just had fires on Halloween and passed out candy. And I kind of just made that our tradition. And so ever since then, it's kind of been our thing. So it's how I try to get to know my neighbors. And if I can't entice you with free beer, well, then I probably don't want to know you.
Right, then you're in trouble. Yeah. Do you have Bud Light?
Yeah. Probably not, but not Budweiser anymore. That goes in the dumpster.
Right. We shot it. We took it out in the desert and shot it.
There you go.
That was fun.
Yeah, a lot of people have. Look at their sales. They're down 22%.
Yep.
22% in a company that big, that's a big deal.
Yeah, it is.
It's a big deal.
It's huge.
Kevin says, on the Halloween thing, Kevin says, hey, Dad, you got any extra A-frame signs? I'm like, yeah, we got a bunch of them there in the trailer that just take the gun show sign off. What are you doing? Oh, I just want to put my signs up for Halloween. I go, your signs up for Halloween? Well, yeah, I got it. Yeah, I just need some signs. I'm like, okay. So I get invited, obviously. We get to go to Halloween at their house. And so I pull up and I walk up, actually, because there's no room to park because of the HOA. But nonetheless, I walk up and there's an A-frame, one of my A-frame signs that usually has a gun show sign. It says, free beer. I was like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, oh, Dad got all this beer left over from the weddings. I went, that's genius, son.
Right.
I really like that idea. Yeah, it was cool. It was fun. And there's people coming from all over like, oh, I heard 4 streets over on the left side of Higley that there's a guy over here that has beer and candy. We walked all the way over. I was like, oh yeah, this is good.
So when did you do that? How many years ago?
That was this last year.
Oh, okay. So I'm curious this year how many people come back saying, "Hey, where's the beer?"
Yeah, it's gonna be a roust.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, the year before that, it was just bratwurst and bring your own beer, and we're cooking bratwurst on the grill. But
still, that's awesome.
Every year we up it. So, but I get to know my neighbors, and I get to do exactly what I say: is talk to your neighbors and find more in common. The guy that I thought I really disagreed with because his political sign the last time around, I found out we both like fishing a lot. We go to the same spots and go fishing, and it's really cool. And you really get to understand people, and just because they don't necessarily you pick one thing out that you disagree with, you pit yourself against somebody that really you agree with more than anything.
Right.
And it's kind of a crazy spot that we have gotten ourselves into in this country. I don't think a lot of people my age and younger actually recognize that and see that for what that is. But it's detrimental to what we're doing as a country.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And really the coffee shop is just kind of our spot to say that it hasn't died and it's still
here.
It's still here. If you like it, it's still here. So
it's our front porch.
Yeah,
it is.
I mean, we worked really hard at actually putting up a really cool front porch so that we had a space that people could do that. And it just blows me away. Every time I pull up, no matter when it is, there's 2 or 3 or 4 people out there sitting on the front porch. We actually need more chairs. I mean, like literally, we need more chairs. So.
You have a cute little spot, and you were telling me one day kind of the history of the spot and the buildings that are there.
Yeah,
can you share that with the audience? Because that was a really cool story.
Yeah. You mean
some of the buildings?
It's a cotton gin. It was the Queen Creek Cotton Gin. In 1951, it was opened up. It was a cooperative with Anderson Clayton Company, and all the farmers in the area would bring their cotton to have the seeds removed. That's what a gin is. And then baled, and then they would sell it on the market. And we know for a fact that the coffee shop and the restaurant, Pupusas, and Sweet Creek, those buildings were barracks at Williamsfield base. What is it called? Gateway Airport.
Yeah, Gateway,
used
yep.
to be Williams Field Air Force Base, and it was a training facility for World War I, World War II, and they had individual barracks over there. And at some point in the 50s, they built buildings to house the pilots, and so they offered the buildings, the barracks, to the community for free. They just had to come get them. And in the case of the cotton gin, they were brought over and put up there. They had delivered them even, and that's what that building is, that the coffee shop is actually in. When that property was sold from being in '85, it was decommissioned, and it was set aside as a private property. Then the family that owns it now, the Vowels, they had basically stepped off how much space they could afford at the time, and they bought it. And it's been multiple things, but now it's the wedding venue and the coffee shop. It's been a tire shop. It's been a farmer's market. It's sat empty for a long time. Pam did some vintage craft markets, like 5 or 6 a year.
Right.
It's been a ton of different things. They built light poles in there for a while. They ran an electrical lighting business out of there for a while.
Wasn't there a tax place in there somewhere back in the day?
Tax place,
Like early 2000s or something?
I don't know if there was a tax place. That could have been. There was so many.
There was a
so
lot of
many
stuff
different
over in
things.
that area.
The Sweet Creek building that's now currently Sweet Creek, which is awesome. They was insurance, right?
Maybe that's what I'm thinking. It was the insurance building.
That was the insurance
Maybe
company.
that's what I was
It was
thinking.
insurance for a long time, and then our building was a barber shop, and before that, it was a hairdressing salon, and I'm not sure before that. That's
Scale House.
Huh?
The Scale House. Before
Well,
that.
it was the scale. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Originally,
it was Scale House.
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a scale house, and we knew that. Obviously, there's a scale there, right?
Yeah,
They used to
yeah.
drive out. But tell them what we found in the wall.
So when we were remodeling, we found weight slips from 1951 and 1952, which is the first year that it operated as a cotton gin, and the receipts were for the cotton that was leaving, and it was all of the families around here, the Schneffs, the Ellsworths, the Saucemans, all these different people used to co-op the cotton at this facility. So
right.
everybody that, like, all of the street names around here, there's
That's
receipts.
awesome.
Barney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
Barney.
really?
Yeah, everybody. And
The whole stack of them we found.
yeah, and it was kind of something they just left in there for I guess us to find one
yeah.
day, you know.
Right.
And that was kind of cool. And I share that with everybody that comes in. I'm like, hey, like, we're a piece of the community from way back. Even though the business is new, the building is old, and we try to keep that 8 acres that are there part of the history, because I think that it kind of coincides with what we talk about is the American spirit is still there. This, if it was up to the city, they'd just make houses out of it, right?
Yeah,
They'd
of
just
course.
Scrape it all
in
off.
a pile, throw it away, and make houses.
Look at every other corner.
Right. Yeah.
And,
Yep.
and so that's kind of where we pride ourselves on the fact that we're trying to keep this little corner around and make it for years to come, that you can kind of remember. If you grew up here or if you didn't, you can find a little bit of history just down the street from where you live.
Yeah. And that's what I love about Queen Creek, and even Santan. Well, it used to be one and the same, but you have things like Schnepp Farms, you have the olive mill, you have the pork shop, you have and that reminds you of small town
Yeah.
living, right?
Yeah,
And
it's
that's
what was
exactly
here.
how you guys fit in. I mean,
Sure, it's what was here before it became L.A.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
We were up on South Mountain. I don't know if you know South Mountain.
Yep.
Okay, so South Mountain's the highest point in the valley, and it's a national park, or it's a state park.
State park,
right?
yeah.
It's been that way for a long time. And you go up there and you can see all over. It's on a clear day, you can see for hundreds and hundreds of miles. And we were up there. I think it was for Alex's wedding. We had some family in town, and we took everybody up there to look around and go eat steak at T-Bone Steakhouse, which is amazing. And I was looking, there's a compass on the very top. There's a rock structure, and then there's a brass plaque. I don't know, it's probably this big around. And it has arrows, all different directions. and it was erected in 1966, which was the year I was born, right? So it's a fairly old plaque. But if you look, it's Glendale, and it says how many miles, and the at the time it was the population. Okay.
Oh, okay.
There is nothing. There's no Santan.
Nothing east.
There's no Gilbert. In 1966, there was nothing down there. Hey, pup. Mesa was like, I want to say it was like 64,000 people or whatever, right? But it was just amazing that there was nothing in that whole area. So, I mean, it's relatively new down here.
Well, it was all farming back then.
It was. I can remember when I was a kid, my mom used to put me in the back of the Buick, and we would go south and pick grapes. There was all kinds of vineyards down there, grape vineyards, and we used to go get apricots and stuff. And it's very eye-opening when you see something that you remember from when you were a kid, and you're like, in your mind, you were way down like by Tucson and on this dirt road on the side of and you see something and you go, oh my gosh, this is where we used to go hunt dove.
Right.
I mean, we used to go hunt dove down there by the railroad track all the time. And that's just crazy because now it's only halfway to my wedding venue. It's just weird. You know, it takes a while to absorb some of that.
When I first moved out here to the East Valley in 07 is when I bought my house, and the pecan trees were still there.
Yeah.
You know, and I remember them plowing those down, and it was sad. I mean, I wasn't from here, but it was still sad for me because I've always liked that small town feel. You know, I mean, I grew up in New York, but even in our little community back in New York, we had the same thing. We had a stoop in the front. We'd sit out there. We were always outside. We knew our neighbors. I mean, in fact, you know, if we were late for dinner, my friend's mom would be yelling for me down the road because she heard my mom yelling for me. You know, that's the type of community that it was, you know. And to see that just get destroyed.
Yeah, it evaporates.
It sucks.
Yeah, it literally evaporates. We get people all the time. Oh man, this is awesome. This is just like it should be, you know. And as far as we're concerned, that's how it all should be.
Yeah.
But you have to have growth, you know, you have to have a tax base, you have to have revenue for people to come in. And I mean, we exist because they're here.
Right.
And they come and love us because we are saving something. The coffee is just, it's just been a really cool bonus to be able to have a platform to talk about it.
Right.
To make it bigger. Right. I think it's a community thing that when we see little pieces of it, don't we, Kev? That when it catches on and it catches fire for 3 or 4 days or a week, and it kind of goes, psh, and it goes, psh, you know, it grows in little spurts.
Yep.
And it's going to be a fun ride. I mean, so far it's been crazy and exciting and hard, but what's to come? What his daughter is going to see out of this is going to be nothing short of amazing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yep. And you'll keep it in the family.
Yep.
That's gonna be the best part.
Yep.
Pass it down. You know, going back to the gun shows, talking about people who have differences of opinion and different beliefs. Have you guys found that in doing these shows, you find people that maybe come in with a different attitude and leave with a different attitude, you know, towards guns?
I think from a ground level, I started when we started the gun shows. I kind of came in as the guy that asked and made sure that everybody had their firearms unloaded from the entrance of the show. So I was the guy that literally had to speak to every single person that came through the show.
Right.
And I think that I sometimes people came in with good attitudes and left with bad attitudes, and sometimes it was the other way around, where they came in and didn't know, foreigners that had no idea what a gun show was, and people that you know, I don't really disagree, or I don't really agree with what you're doing, but I don't necessarily disagree with it, and
right.
they leave buying a cig, and I'm like, oh, well, you really agree with me now, like, so I think that you get people through the gun shows when they come in and see that it's not what you read on the internet what
Right.
it really is, and it's loopholes, and there's old guys just selling guns to felons, and it's none of that. That's none of that is true.
No.
And when you read these articles online, and even the people that would like come and try to take pictures and do things for the wrong reasons, like you could tell that they really were just doing it to sell the article,
Right.
because they're like, okay, this really isn't like what I'm describing it as.
Yeah.
And we've had quite a few people that have come through the shows, especially in our small town shows, that Wilcox is a very good example of it. There's two kinds of people in Wilcox: people that agree with guns and people that don't. And
Right.
we've had some of the ones come in and they're like, oh, really? This isn't like the guy's your neighbor. He's over here buying a gun, to shoot the rattlesnake that's on your property, and he's not crazy. He's not, but you're just so scared of the unknown.
Yeah.
And which is just crazy to me that people would listen to other people's opinion about something that is just so enshrined in our country and the rights and the freedoms that we have. And we've demonized it so bad that just you can't even go to a gun show, and you have to worry about people doing the wrong thing in
Right.
front of the gun show. You have to worry about people trying to protest and do all sorts of stuff. It's crazy. That's crazy. You don't do that about, car sales. Cars kill more people than anything else in the country, but you don't do that. You're not protesting at the dealership. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And it's just so crazy. It's such a demonized thing.
Well,
If you want to save lives, take cars off the road.
yeah, pretty much.
Let's just start
Pretty
there.
much,
But
yeah.
Well, they're trying to do that too, man.
Yeah.
They're totally trying to do that too. So that's a whole nother deal.
That's a whole nother deal.
That's a whole nother deal.
Episode.
Right.
But one thing I love about you guys, and I've seen it just by going around, we always had the opportunity to be at your shows lately.
Yeah.
And do the podcast. And one thing I love about going around all your vendors, your vendors wouldn't put up with bullshit. You can tell they're those types of vendors. You know what I mean? They're straight and narrow.
Yeah.
Is what they are. And great people. I haven't not met a vendor yet that
We work very hard at that.
I know.
It's not by happenstance that you have a really good group of people, a really upstanding group of citizens, and an upstanding group of vendors, because we vet them very, very much, more so than any other gun show. And it's easy when you have good people to have a good result.
Right.
It is also easy to have bad things happen when you have bad people.
Right.
And we don't abide it at all. We make sure that we know what your product is. We know something about your background. We've either been around you or you've been referenced to us by someone.
Right.
We get private sales. We get guys that I'm selling my dad's collection or whatever. We go through a whole regiment with those folks. Hey, okay, well, we would love to have you. What makes gun shows really special is that unique piece. That's the collection of stuff that nobody's seen for 70 years or 50 years, and they bring it out, and everybody's like, ooh, that's cool,
Yep.
right? That's very important to gun shows, because, if you want just a whole bunch of commercial stuff, just go to Sportsman's Warehouse,
Right, yeah,
and
exactly.
buy new crap.
Yep.
But we talk to those folks. We tell them, hey, look, this is how you should go about doing sales. If you need help, see us, see one of the 3 or 4 main people that we have as vendors. They will run background checks for you. They will answer any questions. If you haven't, anything that might, like, what's legal, what's not legal. We go through all that with them, right? And that's intentional. And then at the end of the show, 99% of those folks come up and say, man, you guys were great. I had a question, and your vendor over here, Dennis, he answered my question. He helped me out. He explained what was going on. And it's again, the family theme. It's the family theme. We all help each other out. We want the gun shows to exist. We want them to be the best that they can be, and the best that there is in the country.
Yeah.
You don't get that with a lot of folks. And to me, if it can't be done right, it shouldn't be done at all.
Right.
That's exactly what it is.
Well, especially with this particular,
firearms. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, it's like our safety protocols. Our are crazy, right? I mean, we go way above and beyond. We'll have people come up and just rail us because this is, I have my CCW and I have the right to carry in Arizona and I can go any place I want. And why do I have to take my gun out and have it tied? Because it's a safety measure. And if you respect the firearm that you're carrying, and if you respect the fact that you have the right to have a gun show and to carry a firearm, you'll respect the authority of the gun show promoter and their staff to let you have that firearm tied. Come in, do what you need to do, and then turn around and go out.
Right.
And I mean, 99% of the people are like totally, oh, that's great. Thank you so much. Once in a while, you get somebody that's, and I always think, like Kevin, I think they have another agenda, right? They're there to just raise hell.
Right.
And they're going to do whatever they can do to make as much noise and to wave their arms around the squeaky wheel, right? But the squeaky wheel at the gun show doesn't get the grease, they get the boot.
Yeah.
And it's just that simple.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we try very hard to make sure that we're, well, like the safest place you can be as a gun show.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Quite honestly.
I mean, you guys go around the beginning of all the shows and make sure
Right.
everything's tied off, and you know that's yeah.
Right, right. We even pray. I mean,
Yeah,
I just really
That was
think,
awesome, by the way,
I
when you
just
did
really
that.
think that you can never have enough hedge of protection around any event, whether it's a firearm related event or a car event or whatever. You know, if you're adopting kitty cats, you should have some protection that they don't get run over.
Right.
I mean, whatever,
Right.
right? So I just think it's a big deal, and we also tell our vendors that they can be, they are part of security. Like if you see something that doesn't look right, tell somebody.
yeah.
If you see something that's going sideways fast, freaking do something about
Right.
it. Don't stand there and, go, uh-oh, what's going on over here? No, man, fix it, right?
Yep.
We'll be right there.
Yep.
And it's always, it's been good. It's been really good for us.
Yeah, I remember. So the first show I attended, I didn't even know you guys yet, was after COVID, and you opened up with that one big show at the gym. And I pulled up, and I thought I was early to the show. I couldn't believe the line of people.
That
it
was
was
an-
unbelievable.
Yeah, we didn't shut down for any of that stuff.
I mean, with thousands of people there.
That's true.
That was
we had
nuts.
a line almost all the way back to Queen Creek Road.
Yeah, yep.
It was amazing.
Yep.
And we had our protocols in place, right? So we were compliant, and that people were comfortable. Like, it's not just about the man telling you this is what we're going to do.
Right.
People were scared. People didn't know what was going on. They were being told a bunch of stuff at the time they thought was the correct information, whether it was or not, whether it was intentional or not. It was the rule.
Right.
And so we did it. We did exactly what they told us to do, above and beyond. And we were the very last gun show in the country to shut down. Because California had already shut everything down.
Right.
Arizona was farthest to the west, right? There's no gun shows in Hawaii. We were the last gun show. It was us and Mesa that day. And we went like, 15 minutes later, just so we could say, this is the last gun show in the United States before the shutdown. And we were the very first gun show back open.
Yeah.
The second that we could do it, we had timed it. We had been watching Ducey and kind of playing that, set this, because it takes 2 or 3 weeks to advertise a gun show.
Yeah.
That one didn't take a lot of advertising. I could have thrown a piece of paper in the air and there would have been people there.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool that we were the very last and the very,
very
first
first. That's
back
cool.
open again. And that was a statement. We were doing that for a reason. It was in May, man.
Yep.
It was hot.
Yep.
What did we sell? We gave away snow cones.
Snow cones. Free snow cones to everybody.
Free snow cones. You would not believe how many 60, 50, 40, 30-year-olds will jump through hoops for a free snow cone. The blue, you had the blue watermelon over here. We had the blue snow cone. How much syrup did we go through?
Oh, geez.
Cases and cases of syrup because it was hot and we wanted you to be cool.
Yep.
I mean, it's fun stuff like that. It's stuff that I tried to buy a little Snowy, like the really good one with the shaved ice thing.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yep.
hey, let's do this all the time. After that 6-hour cleanup in the cotton gin, my wife's like,
geez. Never again.
yeah, no, this is not going to work out for us.
So typically, we've only recently started doing the shows with you. So typically, when do your shows run? Do you guys cut them off for the summer because of the heat, or
Well, yes, our venues are indoor, outdoor
Right.
venues. Okay, so typically we shut down from March, right, middle of March, end of March to October. This summer we are still gonna try to do at least one show. We had venues that we had worked with. It's the hardest part about a gun show is finding a place to do it.
Right.
And it's not just finding like we can do it in any. You'll see out there right now. This weekend there's a gun show that's in a hotel. Okay, everybody can do that. No, that's not like brain surgery. Oh my God, I found a place to do a gun show
Right.
in a hotel. The trick is to try to make it work for everybody. Just because you can put on a gun show doesn't mean you should put on a gun show.
Right.
Because there's a formula to it. You have to have the formula be balanced for it to work for everybody. And by everybody, I mean it has to work for the location, right? It has to work for the promoter,
Right.
and the promoter's company. It has to work for the vendors, and it has to work for the people that want to come and do it. If you got shitty vendors, nobody's going to come back.
Right.
If you have the same vendors over and over and over and over and over, the people aren't going to come back. It's going to get bored, right? If you don't advertise, nobody shows up. The vendors have paid a ton of money. They've made nothing.
Right.
They've made no money back. And so there are definitely promoters that promote to put on shows to sell tables. You can make money selling tables, right? If you don't advertise and give that money back and the venue is expensive, you're never gonna grow that show, and everybody's gonna grumble and bitch and moan. And that's basically what happens.
Right.
If I can't make it work for all of us, I don't do it.
You don't do it.
Right. And it's a lot of work to start a show. You'll lose money on a show for at least 2 to 3 shows before you can actually turn any kind of a profit at all. The trick is get a good show, get a good location, get good vendors, and then be repetitious about it, being consistent. And that works. That's a good formula. Even in slow times like the Trump slump when you couldn't sell anything. For instance, the show that was the COVID start, right? The very last show that we had at the Gin. 3 weeks before that, we had a show. I sold 6 boxes of 9mm for $7 a box. Okay, the demand was flat. There was no demand for 9mm.
Right.
You might as well use it to jack up your car with. It has no. Yeah, there was no value in that 3-week period. Even in that weekend, on Friday, we started seeing toilet paper runs. Remember, people kept stealing. Like we were in the gin, and the toilet paper kept disappearing. And I'm like, I just put 3 rolls of toilet paper in there. They're like, somebody took the toilet paper. I'm like, nobody took the toilet paper. Nobody wants to take toilet paper. I was busy running a gun show. I wasn't paying attention to what was going on in the world. Joe Rogan and whoever came out and had their podcast, and you got to get water and toilet paper. And water and toilet paper disappeared.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that weekend, the 9mm went from $7 a box to $17 a box from Saturday morning to Sunday evening.
Jeez.
And it just kept going from there, right? So you just never know what's going to work. But if you're consistent, you'll average it out. The gun shows will be good quality shows again and again and again if you make them work that way.
Right.
And you can't do that by jumping around in venues. You can't do that by jumping around locations or times. So when I look to grow a show, I want to grow that show for a permanent period of time. And if I can't, like I'm not going to go into a Pep Boys, do it twice and be shut down.
Right.
That's nonsense.
Right.
All you did was take advantage of your vendors, whether your vendors realize that or not. That's what you're doing.
Right.
Right. And whether you intentionally understood that you were doing that is also another thing.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But you have to come up with a good place, a good plan. And that's why we love the gin. Mm-hmm. It's ours. We can control it. Is it worthwhile for my wife to not have 3 weddings when or actually 4, basically we start setting up on Wednesday.
Right.
So she potentially could lose the venue from Wednesday to Sunday, right? Well, there's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, those are 3 good wedding days.
Huge, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a sacrifice for the venue at this point to have the gun show.
Right.
But she knows, everybody knows in the family that the gun shows are important to have, right? So we make it a priority. We say this is going to be something that we're going to continue to do.
Right.
And we do, right? So and I love shows in rural areas. I don't necessarily have to have a big show. I have to have a show that will draw well. Mm-hmm. And I would feel I've given money back. There's another promoter in the business that if a show goes bad, he'll like give them credit for the next show, or he'll give them some money back, or we'll go around and buy stuff from vendors, because if a vendor's having a bad day, it's not necessarily the product's fault or the person's fault. It could be just the luck of that day.
It's an off day. Yeah.
And so, the way we can solve that is, you know what? I needed some of that. Like, I bought a flagpole one time, right? Uncommon. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. It was a company that was selling flagpoles, right? And he had a rough show, and I could tell he had a rough show. And he, I didn't want to feel bad. And look, it's my show too, right? I mean, this is my reputation, right? So I think I bought a flagpole. It's still in my front yard. It's the most amazing flagpole, Uncommon USA. That's what it's called, and it is amazing. It is everything that he said it was. Right. But for whatever reason, that show didn't work for him. By the time we got done, I started talking about it. And then there was like 6 other vendors, and they all went. I was like, dude, you got to check out this thing. Like, this guy says it's great, but it's great. Like, you can put it up, you can put it down, you push the button, it's got the light. I even bought the Christmas tree. I bought the Christmas tree option and put it up every year. Do I not? It is awesome. It's the twinkly lights that goes around and the thing, and it takes me like a month to get it set up.
Right.
It's awesome, and my wife loves it, and that's even more awesome. Right. So the point I'm trying to make is, sometimes when those guys are having a bad day, and you think, and you're paying attention, and you think, oh, I'm going to go talk to that guy. I'm going to look at that product. I'm going to see, maybe I can help or whatever, help, give him some ideas or whatever. And I realize, oh, this is a great product. And all it takes is one. And then Eddie Press, right? He was having a rough show in Casa Grande in December. And he had only sold whatever it was. He was kind of sad.
Right.
And I want body armor for all of my staff. We had bought body armor probably 3 years ago for Kevin and for the guys that were the original security. But now I have a whole nother generation of security. Right. I have a whole nother generation of staff. And I want these guys to have body armor. I never used to require them to wear it because I just thought it was, I don't know, it's really not that big of a deal. But now, not only do I think it's a good idea, I like the look. And it's not because of the people that are coming into our show. It's because of the threat assessment of all the people who hate our show. Right. Yeah. Like the crazy people have gotten way more crazy. Right. So we give them, I bought like 4 sets of body armor from him that day. I said, look, the staff needs it. You're slow. Let's get this done. If he's busy, I'm not going to take away from his sales and send my staff over there. Right. So anyway, he bought 4 and he goes, yeah, James, I really appreciate that. That was really great. I said, you know what, Eddie, I'm going to tell you something right now. I have a feeling that you are going to have a great Sunday. I go, I don't know why, but I'm just telling you that I think you're going to sell a lot of body armor. I go, I'll tell you what, I bet you sell 8 sets of body armor on Sunday. And he goes, really? He goes, why would you say that? I go, dude, I don't know. I just think that's what's going to happen. This is the way it's going to be. And at the end of the show, I think he was either at 7 or 9 or something like that. And he's like, I'll never doubt what you say again. I can't believe that you said that. I said, Eddie, I don't know. I just can't tell you why. I said, it's just the way it was. I said, it's just the feeling I got, man. Yeah. And he's great. I mean, we take him everywhere. We talked him into, my daughter talked him into going to Casa Grande, or not Casa Grande, Quartzsite, because the Quartzsite was the let's put this back together show. It's the sketchy and it show, right? And the location, we had to do a whole bunch of infrastructure build out and stuff. We spent like 3 days there just building the infrastructure out so we could have a show.
Jeez.
And I said, Eddie's got to be there. We got to have body armor. This is a small show. We got to have that. In a small show especially, you can't have 75 knife guys. You got to have a knife guy, a body armor guy, an ammo guy. You got to have a little bit of everything,
right? Which
balances the show up, makes it work. And Eddie's like, I don't know if I can make it. I don't know. I said, Eddie, you're coming, dude. I'm telling you. Alex was on the phone with him like every day. Eddie, you're going to come. I said, if you have to sleep on the floor of my trailer, you're freaking coming to the show, right? It was a great show for him. He did really good. And it's just, you just have to have faith in that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you build it, they will come.
Yep.
That's really
Yep.
kind of a thing with some of these things that we do.
Well, and the cool thing that I don't think people realize, especially if you've never been to a gun show, there's not just guns there. You have you have some woodworking people that do an incredible work.
And come back every single show in the same. They go in the little room. My wife loves it because they never bang up the walls. I mean, she's like, God, don't bang up the walls.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
No, they're awesome.
They are, and their product is really, really cool.
Really good.
And they have enough insight to change up the product, right? So it's not always the same stuff. Like every time they come up with something totally different and totally cool. And of course, my wife, I'm going to buy one of them. I'm like, you got like 6 of them. Nope, I don't have one that looks like that,
Yeah.
right? And that's why she's good at what she does, right? I mean, it's important. It's important that they pay attention to the product line and keep being consistent.
That's also something that we've strived to do. That it's to make sure that we have a show that is well balanced and that does have a lot of options for different people to come. For a while, we had a lot of ladies specific things, concealed carry purses and classes and gun dealers that were woman owned, woman ran.
Okay.
That kind of helped because my wife was like, hey, we need to, like, I don't really feel not welcome, but I just don't feel like there's anything for me. And so we brought that kind of stuff in, and that was a huge hit. Just to try to include, like, you wouldn't think, like, as a guy, I'm like, yeah, just go to the gun show and buy a gun. And I'm like, yeah, it's probably not a good idea. The crabby old guy's probably not going to, you're not going to really see eye to eye with him. And he's going to, not explain everything so well. So you bring that aspect into the show, and we do that with a lot of different things, and we try to bring in people that are experts in what they do,
right?
And so that you're getting a good quality show, and your money is well spent when you come. And I think that's kind of what makes Arizona Gun Shows different than everybody else. I think that's just something we've always tried to do. But yeah, the back to the family, we've always tried to make everybody feel like family. When we do our small town shows, we do a barbecue cookout some nights for all the vendors, and we provide them for dinner and hang around with the fire and drink some beers after and have a good time and get to know these people on a different level than you would just passing by them at the gun show. So it's really cool. The people that we've met have definitely helped expand our business and have helped grow it because they believe in what we're doing, what he's doing, what we're helping with. So it's pretty cool. It really is kind of a different, neat experience to go through.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I love the hell out of it. Even though we don't go and sell anything, I just love going around talking to the different vendors and just seeing what they have. And
you guys bring a totally different aspect to a show that we've never ever done anything like this before, right? So podcasting's kind of a new thing, and for us, we've never done anything like that. And as soon as we talked, I was like, oh yeah, we're definitely. I was trying to put you on the porch. Remember? Put him on the porch. You can see the whole place. It's going to be amazing. It's a great fit, and it helps you, and it helps people understand what it is. Right. I mean, I would love to do live video there, so people could see what a gun show. Like I'm sure there's people all over the country that watch this stuff, right? That aren't necessarily in Arizona, that don't understand Arizona culture, right? So if you're in New York, if you're wherever, you can see what it actually is, and what it is not, and you can tell that, hey, oh, wait a minute, this isn't what I thought it was, right?
We're not the crazies that everybody makes.
Everybody puts you, exactly, right. Well, that's what you get for listening to media. What can I tell you?
Yeah,
right. Crazy.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about. We got time left. Let's talk about the future for coffee. What are you guys looking at? What's coming down the pipe that you can share?
We can share.
I don't want to.
Something that's new to us is we're moving our roasting facility. We're becoming our own coffee roasting business as well. We're expanding into that market. I've been training under a guy that's been roasting coffee for about 35 years, and he's finally kind of given me the keys to the kingdom when it comes to all things coffee. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna move our facility. We're gonna make it in a spot over at my dad's house, and it's going to be a nice spot where we can produce coffee for not just our shop and our gun shows and the things like that, but we can also expand into different markets, different places to sell, other coffee shops, other personal accounts and things like that. So that's kind of our next big step for the coffee business, which is going to bring a whole new aspect of what we do. Currently with the 2 roasts that we have here, that's what we're running with now, but it's going to kind of expand into some more specialty coffee, some different things, some different flavor profiles and stuff like that.
Very
so
cool.
it's going to kind of be a larger business in itself, but it's going to be really good for the fact that we're going to explore a lot of new coffee flavors and a new way to experience coffee, which is pretty cool.
If you guys make a pumpkin spice, I'm there.
I will
love
work
pumpkin
on it.
coffee.
There you go. But yeah, it's gonna be really cool because we're gonna kind of control from green bean to cup the whole process. So we're gonna know where the coffee comes from, where it's sourced from, make sure that everything is quality when it gets to us, and then that when it leaves our roasting facility, it's going to be the top of the line coffee.
Yeah,
and it's going to be really cool because a lot of other coffee shops around just purchase coffee from roasters,
Right.
which is, that's cool, and I get that, but I'm going to be able to tell you the source and the family that it came from and the farm that it came from, and all these kind of details, and we're going to be able to custom do roast for people if you want to have something that's more chocolatey or more spicy, and all these different things. We can kind of facilitate that. So it's going to be really cool.
That's awesome. I'm happy for you guys.
Thank
That's
you.
very cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be
great
a lot
news.
of fun. I mean, for me too, from the business picture side, not the I love coffee
Right.
side. It's good to control your source, right? It's good. If we've learned anything from this COVID thing, you need to control your business
Right.
from end to end.
Right.
And if you can't, you really got nothing controlled at all.
So if any listeners have a dairy, I use a lot of milk. I could use some milk and half and half.
Hey,
Anybody out there?
right?
That's
Hey,
funny.
That might actually not. You might get a response.
You
on that.
might.
You
might,
very well
actually.
could.
Especially with this audience.
It's one of those things that you only limit yourself by what you dream.
Right.
I've been preaching that to these kids for a while now. You are your limiting factor. If I can't work on this day, I can't do this, I can't do that, it's because you've said that to
Right.
yourself. Like, we can do anything we want to do. Do we know how to do it? I don't know. What is it? Right? Let's decide. But if we don't know, we're going to find out.
Yeah.
Like, we have 1,000 steps, and we're on step number 312. And as soon as we master 312 and 313, we're going to go to 315.
Yep.
And as we master those steps, we look back and go, "Oh, that wasn't even hard."
Right.
Right? What I thought was going to be a problem ended up not being a problem at
Right.
all. And then the thing comes and hits you in the head that you didn't ever see coming, and it knocks you to the ground, and you go, "Wait a minute, what happened?
Wait a
here?
second.
What was that?" So, but it's great. The roasting is going to be amazing. Like, we'll be able to do custom roasts. We got a job in the hopper for 2,000 bags right off the bat.
Jeez.
We're still a month away from being able to do anything like that.
Right.
But it's already there, right? So if you want to, for your business, if you have something that you want to do as a charity event, if you want to, it's just whatever. The one that we're working with right now is a company. Hey, there she is! Yay!
You made it.
Back from the boxing match. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
it was so much fun.
that's awesome. Yeah, so it's just one of those. If we can grow it to the point where we can custom make a coffee for you, for your audience.
I heard
And
you say that. I can make you. He said, "Oh, I love pumpkin spice," and he's like, "Oh, blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!"
We did, yeah. So that's where we are currently. I'm currently constructing the building.
Well, good. He
In
will
the middle
work
of
for
it.
pumpkin spice coffee. So you have a roaster,
I
and you
have
can
a-
just bring him home with the tub, and
I have
he'll roast for coffee.
I work for Pumpkin, right?
We can get you a t-shirt.
Have you been?
that says-
Did you jog up here? I mean,
She's out of breath.
nice.
So
I
Christine,
like ran through the grocery store and then
Christine says you learn by doing, like my mother used to say, and I adopted that kind of philosophy in my life too. I started out in the construction industry, and I was the type of person that would hire a landscaper, hire somebody to do this, and I started sitting back as I got into the industry and said, you know what? Somebody learned how to do this,
yeah,
right?
they didn't teach you.
What, right. Whether they went to school for or whatever they did, somebody learned how to do this. So why can't I do it? I'm not stupid. You know what I mean? And that's how I started living my life. I started learning different things, and it's made me successful in the trade that I'm in, but it carries over to any business you want to do. Just because you don't know how to do it now doesn't mean you can't learn how to do it. Yeah. And like you
Somebody
said,
learned how to do it, so
you're
why
your
can't
own
you?
limiter. Yeah, you limit yourself.
Yeah.
Well, and we had the huge advantage of having a mentor for him.
Right.
Yeah. That's
And we still
huge.
do. Like, Jeff will come over and work with Kevin anytime he wants.
That's awesome.
I mean,
Because that's the hardest thing is
It
finding
is.
somebody who knows what they're doing, because I can learn anything, but am I really learning it from a guy who knows what he's doing?
Yeah, when you have somebody that has the knowledge and is willing to share it with you, it's something that you
Huge.
you gotta take advantage of
Yeah.
the people that are placed in your life for that kind of reason.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah,
And you have to
100%.
be aware of that. Like, okay,
Yeah.
this person was
this
put
is
here
this is a special deal, right?
2x4 forehead. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll listen. Thanks.
You can tell mom's home because the pity's acting.
Yeah,
crazy,
so
you know?
sorry. She's very upset. It's a vicious pity.
We like the fact that we're able to have 35 years of experience.
Yeah.
That is
That's huge. You can't pay for that. You know what I mean?
Free. It's free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, wow. It's just like I tell Kevin. I said, you guys are starting these businesses. I've been in business for 30 years, doing other stuff.
But this is brand new.
I have beaten myself up for 30 years. Right, doing all kinds of different things.
Right.
Don't start these new businesses at zero.
Right.
Start at 35 plus one.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they're really great about that. They're
No.
really great about,
That's
hey, this is
awesome.
a pitfall. Let's not go this way.
Yeah.
Let's go that
You're
way.
like, I've done this. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Abort mission. Abort mission.
This is the one that you want to step around.
Yeah.
And this is the one you want to jump straight into.
Yeah. This one we learned from. We're
Right.
going to jump here. Let's see how this works out. But we already did the other one. Don't do that one.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. And I know I was actually going to go by you guys this morning. And there was like 800 people in line. I was like, I got to go to work. I don't have time for this.
Well, we're trying to get.
Gosh darn
we're
it.
getting
We're working
faster. We're working on it, right?
No, I know. It was
Yeah.
just, I already like had a 2-hour drive in front of me. And I was like, oh, it's 10 minutes. But 10 minutes put me 10 minutes more behind traffic. So I was like, no, I'll wait. I'll be okay. Maybe
That's
next
why you
time.
got a
So
bag
what
right
time?
there. You can just make it at home.
Yep.
I did already have it in home, already in my cup, but I was like, they have
She wanted more.
fancy.
She wanted
You
They have
want-
fancy
you want
ones.
The good. Sweet
I know.
stuff.
Like, make Alex make me something delicious.
Well, and that's something I want you guys to talk about real quick because it's fascinating because we typically, when you guys come out with new flavors, we like to
Oh my God, we
advertise
have
it
to
on
go
the
try
show. We go try it. But it's a collective effort, right? When you guys come up with these different flavors, kind of talk about that a little bit because I thought that was cool.
Because you don't just think, oh, it's the first of the month. Like,
No, I have that. That's planned out like months in advance.
he's like, I'm good till October.
Yeah,
Like, we're good.
Yeah, I'm already into the peppermint season. I'm planning it out. No, it's really cool because when you get girls in there that are getting good at coffee and they can know what's gonna taste good with coffee, they'll sit there in the downtime and they'll just taste drinks and
And that's awesome. That's kind of what you need. Like, you need free taste testers because you're like, I don't want to make somebody pay $6 for this and it sucks.
Yeah, I've drank enough coffee and I've tasted enough stuff. They can do that. So
Yeah.
I kind of give it to them and say, hey, like this is now your responsibility. Come up with some good stuff.
Yeah.
Give me like 3. I'll test them
And we'll go through 'em,
and
yeah.
we'll vote on them, and that's how
Absolutely.
everything
Oh,
goes.
that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's really cool because flavors that I necessarily wouldn't put together. Like this month, it's peach and toasted
Yeah, I'm
marshmallow.
really not sure if I.
It's good. It's delicious.
Is it good?
I would not. Yeah, it's super subtle.
I read the thing and it was like, trust us, it doesn't suck. And I was like, that sounds really bad.
gotta-
Like
you gotta
the
try
peach
it.
tea all day long. Their peach tea is delicious.
Yeah.
I drank probably 6 gallons of it at the gun show.
But yeah, no, it's really good, and that's kind of what the girls come up with,
Yeah.
and they just make up their own stuff.
But how are you going to know until you throw it together? And it's either
Exactly.
going to be good or it's not.
yeah.
Now, do you
And
get to write that off as an R&D department?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
You're
will
like,
figure out a way.
Right.
I will figure out a way.
That's awesome.
research and development and all the stuff you use, tax write-off. I'm so sorry.
Well, it is. Yeah, absolutely.
So, but no, it's really cool
awesome.
because the staff that we have is really invested in what we're doing. And
They're amazing.
Yeah.
They're so
They really
good.
are,
They are
but
so good.
They get adopted into the family.
They are
Yeah.
so
quite
good.
regularly. There's a really, really good group, and they're developing their palate. I mean, I noticed that the conversations that we had originally and the conversations we had 3 months ago and the conversations that we have now are way
Oh,
different.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it is just business time.
That's awesome.
Everything's, you know, this.
Well, and how do you know when you start out, you bring in these tweenies, let's call them, and you're like, okay, help me not suck. Like, how do you like instill that in them? But they're, like I said, they're amazing. Like they think of that place. That is their home.
It is.
Like that is their place.
That's
and
the
that's
way we think
awesome.
of them too.
Right, right.
I mean, that's exactly what it is.
And that's the way it should be. Like, that's awesome.
I was a little taken back by the first hiring round.
Yeah.
And in the 3 weeks that they trained, and
Yeah.
they developed tests.
Yeah.
They literally how many pages was your test?
a 4-page, you had a
Four-
4-page front.
You have
Holy
a 4-page
cow.
test?
Yes.
I
Seriously.
don't think I would pass that.
For hiring.
I'd be like, don't I just get to drink coffee and like
He
hang
wa-
out all day?
he was the one that had the hard time getting through the test.
I did the
It
worst.
took him
fail?
multiple
I
times.
did.
Alex failed you like 100 times. She's like, nope, do it again.
No, dude. Yeah. So,
But to me, like from my business standpoint,
Yeah.
I'd never even heard of anything like that.
Right,
I was
Yeah.
like,
right.
what in the hell are you doing, dude?
it's a coffee shop,
he's like,
bro.
This has got to be right. It's
he
a
thought
coffee.
it was
It's a
like,
coffee shop.
he thought it was like
What are you
pouring
talking
black coffee into the cup.
I-
That's where you started.
Well,
And
literally,
then our
like they have to, like that's a thing. Like they have like competitions where you like
Now I
make
know.
it into the Eiffel Tower or some crap like that. Like what?
Now I know. I did not realize that. I was like, why can't
I've
we
just seen the
just-
pictures. I didn't know that it.
I
like,
thought we were going to have coffee brewers, a shitload of coffee brewers all
Yeah.
lined up and making coffee. And I mean, these guys are like, no. And they held the line too, because I was
Yeah.
like, you're going to
What?
spend how much money on a what? And they're like, oh yeah, it's like,
This is what you do, and
it's
you're
a
like,
it's a 3-head Lamar Zocco. It's a 3-group Lamar Zocco machine. And that's the best there is. And I went,
it's a coffee
it's
maker.
a freaking coffee machine, dude. Find
Like,
another one.
$10, I can get you one at Walmart. Like
We
I don't
were
know
running-
what you're.
we the first three head that we had, we worked the crap out of it. I mean,
Yeah.
they worked the crap out of it, and I was like getting real nervous because again, back to the boss, you know,
Yeah.
not the boss, but the guy oversees everything,
Yeah.
supply chain. Like,
Yeah.
if
Right.
this machine doesn't work, what are we gonna do? We can't sell like.
Who are we gonna
we're
sell
not
this
selling
to?
Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
We don't have an option. This has to make coffee. And
You're looking at this
one
thing
grinder,
going,
right? Yeah. The conversation about grinders. Oh, the grinders are like expensive. We just need one. No, we need one is none and 2 is 1. And now we have like 7.
Yeah.
Which hey, you know, eventually you get it.
You get
right?
there. It's okay.
But I didn't understand until I
Yeah.
actually saw what they were doing.
Well, then you have to see the process too.
exactly,
Like,
and all the effort. The
again,
effort,
you're like me. Pour coffee here, cream. Bye. Like,
these guys.
what do you didn't? Yeah.
They're still refining. These guys are still refining
Yeah.
the process. Like they've
Well,
changed,
that's
they've
just gonna-
changed the inside of it around. There's
Yeah,
gonna
it is different.
There's going to be 6 heads in there instead of 3.
Right.
Yeah.
There's 2 machines now, or there's going to be like within the next week or so.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to me the amount of effort and thought and research that has gone into this. It's the most.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Which is another reason why I love working with my kids.
Yeah.
This is the joy of my life.
Well, you get to see the best parts of them too. The parts you wouldn't normally see because
They're
you're just
work
dad.
doing someplace
You're
else.
dad.
Right,
But that keeps
exactly.
your business evolving too, because if you think about it, think about a Starbucks, think about a Dutch Brothers. They are what they are. They're never going to change. When
No.
you walk into a
Yes.
store 5 years from now,
It's gonna be
the
exactly
the
the
same
same.
store.
Yes,
Nothing changes.
That's exactly
Yeah.
right.
So
They've
you-
got
They
and,
don't let their people evolve or be humans or anything. They just
and that
this is your job. You stand here. You pour this. You do this. Thanks.
I've had multiple conversations. I'm talking to you over here instead of talking to you here.
They want to hear you too.
So I've had multiple conversations with people going, "Oh, Black Rifle Coffee just put a shop up on Queen Creek and whatever, and they're putting another one over here. Aren't you worried about that?" And I go, "No, I am not at all worried about that because they have become Taco Bell already.
Yep,
They are
100%.
they are down the road.
100%.
I am not at all
Nope.
concerned about any of those.
Nope.
big
Because you're gonna have the
commercial
same
deals.
10 coffees and that's it. You're not going to have the monthly stuff like that. You're not going to have the personalized stuff either.
Right.
Like,
where's the personality?
Right.
Absolutely.
Like Black Rifle is what Black Rifle is because of their founders and what they stood for and what they did. Right. And their videos. They have cute, they have,
now they're
they
Taco
have,
Bell.
they have cute videos, right?
You can put cute
Right?
videos on yours too.
I keep telling them that.
Come on now, let's do it. We kind of have people who know how to do that.
So we need video production.
saying.
We need some video production people to contact us and let us know if they're interested in helping with video production.
I can
I do that,
suggest
right?
we have RCJ Productions.
I'm
We'll
not-
work for coffee.
Pumpkin spice.
Literally, you could send him home with like a 5-gallon tub of this, and he'll do anything you want. It's real simple, and he'll even roast it. You don't even have to make him like. You don't even
she's
have
got
to
your
roast
number,
it.
She's selling me off cheap, isn't she?
Real easy.
Wow.
Tell me you wouldn't.
Wow.
For pumpkin spice? Yeah, heck yeah.
For that one, even pumpkin spice, you'd do anything. Like, that's wink, wink. Like, yeah.
My favorite part about your coffee is when we get a fresh bag and we just open it up. It just, the aroma just goes through the house. It just smells so freaking
And
good.
everybody loves it. So, like, Andrea and Arthur from Tucson, 100% love it. They were super bummed when they came out because it was after you guys already closed. And then because it was late Saturday and then it was Sunday that we were here. And I'm like, they're not open. I wonder if we just call him and like, hey, guys.
I was gonna say, come on, man.
It's not like Alex was trying. Alex, just come. Just watch the store.
you
Open us in.
You know somebody who knows.
I know.
somebody.
I know somebody who knows
All
somebody.
you gotta
I
do
know.
is know the right guy.
I
You can
know.
get
I had to
whatever.
call the right guy.
That's right.
So,
Cool.
yeah, hilarious. But everybody loves it. Everybody who comes here, we've had the family, we've sent it with the family home. Like, everybody loves it.
We appreciate
It's
that.
delicious.
We
So
do.
I did
We
put it
really
up
do.
on the screen. So if you guys want to go
I'd say-
visit them, go check it out.
And they literally have ammo, like,
Yep.
right behind that door.
Lots of ammo too.
Lots.
You got
and,
lots
and
of
good
them.
and pretty good prices now.
Yeah, really good prices,
Prices are
actually.
starting to really drop. And
Oh, thank you,
Kevin
Jesus.
is working really, really hard at keeping the.
I know,
right
I'm so
stuff in.
excited.
I'm working really hard at trying to keep the really oddball stuff in.
Yep.
Like the
Yes,
hard
that's
to
what's
find
cool.
stuff.
Like, I stand there as I'm waiting for my coffee and I'm looking, and there's stuff that and I'm not like a super rare gun person, but I'm like, what in the what?
218 zipper. Who'd have thought?
Absolutely.
Who'd have
Like
thought,
on
right?
a jacket?
Right.
Yeah. Sure.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's really neat.
And for those of you that don't live in Arizona, you can go on their website and order
They
coffee,
will ship it to you,
which is cool.
and it will make your whole house smell amazing.
We will ship it to you.
Yes.
Are you guys going to make,
Roasted
so this
fresh.
is a mom and dad question.
We already asked that question. You
I
wait
missed
to
it.
the party.
I was busy.
About the K-Cups.
I was busy. Yeah, we're going to make cake
We
cups.
talked about that.
It's expensive. It's
Well, yeah, I know.
it's like
It's like
ridiculous.
$30 for.
proprietary technology because the little sticker on the top. But we're gonna do packages with like pre-ground coffee and then the little K cup reusables.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, we're gonna kind of do stuff like that, and that's part of what we're
Yeah,
gonna,
just have like the K cups in the office.
yeah.
Oh, cool.
And then the other thing we're gonna try and do
Office
is
and
some like cold brew packs and different things like that. You know.
Oh my God, yes, please.
So yeah, so that's
Not
it
that I
works.
haven't already cold brewed your coffee.
just got
Yeah, I was gonna
and
say I
it's
know,
still
I know
delicious.
you've done it. I know you've done it.
Oh, we do it all the time. If I make a pot and I don't drink the whole thing, I'll put it in, and later on at night, I'll just throw it over
It's
some
so
ice.
good. But
and
I've
it's
even
so
done
freaking
like
good.
so you fresh grind it and then you put it in a jar and you let it sit overnight. I mean, the bad thing is you have to filter it, but it's so good.
Yeah, but there's specialty bags that were
Like tea bags.
yeah,
That's awesome.
Okay, and then you can
Giant
just like
tea bags.
pre-made and
Yep,
oh,
put it in
that's
there, and then
cool.
like 3 gallons, 6 gallons at a time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really good.
Very cool.
In the works.
Really not what I need in my
Coming
life.
soon.
To be with pumpkin spice.
Yes.
The problem that we constantly run into in this business and all the other businesses that we have is there's just not enough of us. Like the ideas are.
I mean, you know, I
They're
have a great job, but I
flowing out of
can
our
be,
ears.
you know, persuaded and paid by coffee.
Yeah, and that's the kind of
Just saying.
barter that we like.
I know.
Exactly.
We'll work for money and coffee.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. We have a list of stuff that's just a mile long that we got to get this thing first
To get to the next
get
part,
to the next
to get-
thing,
yep.
to get to the next thing. Like we need to get the roastery finished. We need to get that.
When is that going to be
online.
done? Do we have it? Do we have a time frame yet?
Are you
or not
looking at
really?
James's schedule or?
Yeah, don't look at James.
You're looking at me?
Yeah, I'm looking at you.
Oh God, that's
time
like
frame-
2025. Don't look.
Memorial Day, right?
No, this is the number one
Okay,
thing on,
okay,
on the
just
list.
making sure.
Like I framed Saturday.
Oh,
right?
good.
Framing
Okay.
was done. I was doing electrical all day today.
So we're
you're gonna have a place to come and
like a month.
see, and before the end of the month.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Before the end of the month.
So I get to stay in that place where we roast coffee and it just.
We have to tune. We have to tune the machine.
So excited.
What is the timeline for tuning the machine? Isn't it like 3 weeks?
Yeah.
It's going to take us 3 weeks to tune the machine.
Oh, to get it just yeah.
Right. You got to get it right. Right.
Yeah, because you don't want.
There's so
That's
many
bad.
so many different
Variances.
Yes. So we got to get it all tuned. We're able.
You're
to,
timing
we're
your
able to
engine. I
roast.
got you.
Yeah, we're able to continue where we are right now.
That's good.
And so nothing.
So you're not
there's
stopping
no disruption.
anything.
No disruption at all. As a matter of fact, you just did 200 pounds just the other night for
two days
someone
ago.
else.
Oh my god.
For another company. So we're already doing it.
So-
it's just we need to be able to do it on a higher, faster
Right.
frequency.
So when you guys are up and running, is this something we can come do an episode on and kind of talk about your roasting
Absolutely.
facility?
Smell-o-vision.
Like
Can we work on smell-o-vision?
Smell-o-vision.
that?
We had smell-o-vision. They would be like
I wonder
Out of coffee in a
we
day.
could do that. I wonder
Like a
if we could
scratch
get
and
the
sniff or
snatch-
something.
Right. Would that
like
be
send you a can of air and be like, okay, when you watch it, just open.
right? That's a good idea.
Be
Seriously.
like, here's your Ziploc bag. and here's your video.
I know how we could do this.
How?
We could take the ammo can that's sealed, and we could put bags of coffee in it and ship it.
Oh,
and then they
yeah.
could open
Literally,
it,
that's
and
your
it would
smell.
be that.
Yep.
Ah, sounds so
there you
good.
go. See,
Another idea.
coming up with new ideas.
Like you have any
See, you
time
get
in the
both.
Like
You get
like
both
like we said.
flavors.
we got to get the building built so we can.
Yeah,
get
let's
to that.
do
One step at a
that
time.
step
Right, exactly.
318. Okay, and we're only on 312.
My
It's
wife
not bad.
my wife would say this is my ADD kicking in.
Right.
It happens.
So I put up your website for the gun shows, ArizonaGunShows.com.
Thank
When's the next show? I probably missed it.
Okay, right now is Wilcox in October.
First
the
week
first
in
Okay.
weekend. In
We need to go
October.
up to Wilcox because
You-
I've never been there.
You
and I
truly
would
need to
love
come to
see it.
Wilcox. It is awesome.
When in October?
It's the first weekend. It's always the first weekend.
making
It's
sure.
Rex Allen Days weekend.
Because we are having a Halloween party for our 1 year anniversary on Friday the 13th. So you guys have to come.
Nice.
Yeah, you definitely have to come to that.
Hopefully, no tornadoes.
Wow.
That's what happened on our wedding. We didn't get to have our party.
Really?
You remember in
Yeah, you
October,
remember
that
October,
one day
that
we got
huge-
nailed?
Yep, that
I
was
remember.
our
I
wedding
remember
day.
that.
That was our wedding day.
Great. Come down the stairs and alarms are going off, and I was like, "What's happening?" They're like, "Oh, it's tornado warning."
You know, I know somebody.
Awesome.
I know somebody that has a wedding venue. If you want to try and do a do-over,
Right?
Never thought
You know
about
somebody who knows somebody,
I'm
somebody who knows
just
somebody.
saying.
and you want to know what's
a
even
guy.
better is it's right next to the coffee place.
I know a guy who knows a lady that can take care of that for you.
Who knows the lady? Don't let your ADHD distract the lady.
Right?
that. So we do a thing called the Wacky Wednesday file. I found this cool story. Thought you guys might appreciate it. Catholic Church had to stop coffee from being outlawed. It wasn't just alcoholic drinks that used to be prohibited in the 16th century. Coffee was banned in Europe. The drink first reached European shores, Venice, Italy, to be precise, from Arabia. European travelers were already aware of coffee and described it as mysterious and intoxicating, which resulted in European Catholics who were very wary of the drink's perceived Muslim background, decrying it as the bitter invention of Satan and having it outlawed. Luckily, Pope Clement VIII was on hand to calm the situation down and decided to sample a cup for himself. On tasting it, he proclaimed that it was a Christian as well as a Muslim drink, and it would be a sin to let only pagans enjoy it. Following the Pope's approval, coffee began to spread across Europe, and the rest, as they say, is history.
That is definitely from God. I'm just letting you know.
So I thought that was a cool story.
That is a cool story.
That's interesting, though. Yeah,
heard
because
that.
anything new to your culture is going to be terrifying.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's cool.
It's
Very
fun to
interesting.
watch. I do a lot of history. And it's fun to watch the migration of coffee. Like there's several shows about how coffee started and basically how it moved around the country, and it was a very big staple. Coffee and salt were hugely traded, as were spices, frankincense, and myrrh, because nobody took a bath, and so you
Yeah.
need a little bit of smell good,
Little
there.
extra.
a little bit of something.
Well,
So
coffee helps with that, too.
it kind of is an aroma thing too.
Yeah.
You know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
Yeah.
So it's interesting to look at the history. I a whole nother world. Like this is a whole nother open my
Oh
eyes.
yeah,
Right?
yeah, huge.
So-
Now, has it changed much? Like this coffee they're talking about now, it's roasted coffee beans. Like it hasn't really.
Not really. No.
Okay.
Not really.
Just the process of
Well,
roasting.
yeah, but like
Yeah, other
it's
than
a
that,
bean,
yeah.
it's roasted, it's
ground
up and
steeped or brewed
drank,
over.
yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Same, basically the same thing.
So it's just the way you roast it, how long you roast it, what kind of beans you use that have changed.
Yeah, climate.
Okay.
Where they're grown.
Where they were grown, because that's going to change the bean.
Yeah, because like
That's
you
cool.
get stuff from Africa, Ethiopia, and
Yeah.
different things. Beans are a lot smaller because there's a lot less water.
Yeah.
Right.
You get
Well, and
stuff
it's
from
a different flavor, right?
Yeah, different. It's the dirt. It's the atmosphere. It's all that.
Everything.
So and then you get beans that are from, El Salvador and Guatemala. They got a lot of rain. They're a lot larger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
But that too is
taste
going to
different.
change it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Same thing with the
so.
dirt.
Just a thought: the smaller the bean, does it make it more of a bitter coffee? Then no, it doesn't.
No, it depends. A lot of it depends on how long it's grown for.
Okay.
And as long as it's picked at its proper
Prime.
time. Yeah, it
Doesn't get better.
Yeah, the bitter comes in the sense of where it's from.
Okay.
Oh,
Right?
okay. Okay.
So different regions bring out different tastes
Flavors
and
in it.
profiles.
Okay.
Yeah, berries.
So it's
and
the stuff that's in
spices
the ground, essentially, the nutrients,
that's
the
cool.
vitamins. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's why if you taste like Hawaiian coffee, because it's all
Yeah.
volcanic, it's very crisp and very
Yeah.
fresh because
Yeah.
it doesn't have a lot of dirt in it. It's got
It's
a lot
more
of volcanic.
raw.
nutrients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's got a
Okay.
whole different flavor profile.
So it's getting more of the water nutrients instead of the dirt stuff. Oh, yeah, that's a rabbit hole.
Well, so and all of this, like when he's talking about all this stuff, and it's amazingly cool, right? I'm in my brain. It's like, oh, dude, so we could like have
Rocks and
coffee testing,
make
and
coffee test.
We
Yeah.
could do we could set up 4 or 5 profiles and say, hey, if you want a custom coffee, which one of these would you prefer?
Yeah, which bean would you like?
The unending amount of
Potential.
is crazy.
Yeah.
It's just
But how many
it's
rabbit
mind-blowing.
holes do you go down before you?
Well, you got to get really
Successful
good
at one,
get good
and
and,
then-
consistent and successful.
then you can get a new
and then
one.
you. But I don't think that they're lanes. I
so
don't think
much
there's
potential.
specific lanes. I think they
It's
kind
all
of
one.
cross over
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you don't know. You think, oh well, I'm going to go and put up 18 shops, and I'm going to put them in these locations because I have this
Whatever,
connection.
yeah.
Right, but because of this profile of the coffee, maybe this intersects, and you are able to do a totally different
Yeah.
route.
Yeah.
Right. So instead of just being tied to Americano ammunition
Yeah.
coffee with the gun theme,
Yeah.
you can also do a line of coffee or bags that is a totally different deal.
Absolutely.
Right, yeah.
And
It
it's
has-
still all the
it has
same
a-
roaster. It's
it-
still all
it's
the
a- well,
same. Yeah.
It's and it's a weight. It's
Yeah.
like Jesus was hanging out
Yeah.
with prostitutes and tax collectors.
it's
right?
all whatever's around you.
You want to get people in a community. You
Wanna
want to
get the
bring as
masses.
many people into that community as you can, which is what we've all talked about.
Yeah.
Right. This is what we
This
are
is
doing.
our home,
This
yeah.
is our family. Right.
Yeah.
So let's figure out a way to entice someone who maybe doesn't necessarily think like we think.
Right.
Yeah.
But we can bring them into a melting pot with coffee.
Right. Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, really, the possibilities are endless.
They
Yeah.
are truly
It's
endless.
never ending.
They're truly endless. And again, it truly is my
never
ADD.
ending.
It's my ADD that takes me down
No,
these
it's rabbit
roads.
holes. Absolutely.
And
But
you-
how do you get there unless you go down that rabbit hole?
That's exactly right.
Right.
And how do you know which is the correct
Best
one?
rabbit hole
Yeah,
in the
you gotta kind of play with it a little bit. you know,
That's a lot of.
rabbits.
Rabbits. Go through some headlines real quick.
You guys didn't get to the headlines yet? My God.
Yeah, no, we didn't get that. We got a quiz too. We got a cool quiz.
Oh, good, we got a quiz.
I want to kind of skim through this real quick. So, CBS poll says GOP voters want woke culture challenged. 85% of likely Republican primary voters prefer a candidate for GOP's presidential nomination who challenges woke ideas.
About time.
That's interesting, huh?
That is.
Biden might send 1,500 troops to the
I
border.
thought.
This was the beginning of the week. I put this
Okay.
down, so he probably did. We'll talk about that
Today.
next week. Did
I
he
was
do
going
it
to say
today?
he was,
Yeah.
not sure what it's going
As
to do.
Title 42 comes to an end next Thursday, which we'll be doing a show on Wednesday on Title 42. So,
Are you doing
So-
they're coming?
yes. They're not coming. They're going to go remote.
still.
Yes.
So they would.
But But if they come, they can get coffee.
Yeah, right. The conventional wisdom would think that they're going to go down for like crowd control and to keep things kind of on the
Right.
How is it any different than?
No,
yeah.
I think what they're going to do is I'll give them a pen and a paper, and they're going to just bring them in and sign them up even faster.
Yep.
Probably.
Here, sign this. Thanks. Bye. Here's your social security number. Have a good day.
Probably.
Right.
So this is an interesting article that I found. Cluster of rare brain infections in children reported in Nevada in 2022. There were 18 cases of intracranial abscesses found in children in 2022, up from about 4 cases per year between 2015 and 2021, which is more than triple the amount, according to SNHD. I don't know who that is. But according to the report, there were an average of 7 cases during 2020 and 2021 at the height of the COVID pandemic. So are we finding something else that's related?
I don't want to say certain words.
Yeah, don't. We'll get kicked off.
But could this have to do with the fact that children are now included in that?
Could be.
Because what are those ages of children? Doesn't say.
Yeah, I'd have to read the actual report to see.
That's interesting.
So it is interesting, though. Mm-hmm. Owner of Legacy Park files for bankruptcy. You know about that.
I know very much about that.
Do you know? Do you know even more? Do you know that they're going to rebuy it?
Are they really?
Yep. The 3 guys that are filing for bankruptcy are going to rebuy it. Found that out today. We'll have a side note conversation just so you're like, okay, bye.
Interesting.
Maricopa County sees highest number of West Nile viruses infections since 2004. New record.
Really? I didn't think that
Already?
that our mosquitoes have been that bad yet.
I didn't
Probably because
either.
of all the rain we had this year, no? Because we've had an unusual amount of rain during the winter.
Is it
time.
near where the river is and the river bottom's been running and there's all that water now that's sitting?
I don't know. I live right next to it, and I haven't gotten no mosquitoes yet.
No, because I'm like, that might, but we haven't gotten anything out here. We had them really bad, like
Last
2
year.
years. Last year,
Last year was
the year
bad.
before it was so bad.
Well, we're in record water last year here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Huge.
record water at the gym. We had like 18 inches
That's awesome.
in the rain gauge.
Yeah.
That's
It's-
awesome.
I mean, it's a lot of water.
Yep.
Yeah.
And typically the first quarter this year was pretty high too.
Yeah.
We had quite a bit of rain for the first 3
Yeah.
months, 2.5 months.
It's only been the last month that
It's-
it hasn't done
Yeah,
anything.
it's going to get real dry though.
Yeah.
Because typically how the cycle works, and from what I've seen, is it's the next 100+ days is going to be dry.
Yeah. You think we'll have an active monsoon season this year or no?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, because El Nino and La Nina, they always follow each other.
Right.
And one is super
our
dry.
roof will stay
Super
on.
dry.
La Nina, I think, is dry, right? El Nino is the wet one.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had all kinds of rain. I mean, I was trying to. We're talking about the front porch, right? So we built the gazebo. We got it out there. We're trying to get it all secured down and figure out how that's going to work out. And this thunderstorm comes up this last summer, and it was you and Sid and me and Bree, right? And I spent like 3 days building this damn thing. I am not letting it blow away.
No.
It's pretty good size, right?
Yeah.
I'm out there, I'm doing.
Are all of
I'm
you
doing
guys-
me and Bree. Me and Bree are out there, and I'm wrapped
on
around
each
this
gr-
thing
that's
like
what
a
I'm saying. Are you
koala.
bear hugging these things?
You
And
bet.
it's-
And exactly. And he's looking out the window, and it's raining so hard it's like buckets. You couldn't see the pine tree, which is in front of the building,
Right.
what's 10 feet away.
Yeah.
Right. And he's like, "Don't worry about it. Let it go. It doesn't
And you're like,
matter."
"No."
And I'm like, "No,
Not happening."
You're like,
this
I'm already
is
wet.
not
What does it
going."
matter?
Oh, that was the hardest rain I've ever been in.
That's
It
crazy.
looked like a hurricane, didn't it, Kevin?
It was just the sheets.
Yeah, and finally, it started to actually move with us hanging onto the thing, and I was like, "All right, fine, I'll give up." And as soon as I let go, it stopped. I mean,
That's crazy.
settled down. So, yeah.
You're like,
That's
oh,
how it works here.
It is how it works.
Gotta love Arizona.
Interesting. So this was interesting too. So judge allows farm to transfer its Colorado River water supply to Queen Creek. Did you guys hear about that? Company intends to divert about 2,083 acre feet of water per year from the Colorado River into the Central Arizona Project Canal to Queen Creek, nearly 200 miles away.
nice. That's
I
awesome.
thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that is.
All right, should we do our quiz?
Yes.
Do our quiz of the week. Coffee. It's all about coffee.
Oh God, they're gonna know this. I'm not. Okay, I'm ready.
All right, if you guys want to play along at home, you guys have been quiet tonight.
Where is
I think
everybody?
everybody's intrigued by the stories. I think we got most of our Rumble listeners tonight.
I didn't even get to. Don't even know.
All right, so number one, about how many coffee beans does it take to produce 1 pound of roasted coffee? We got 1,000, 2,000, 3,000,
How
4,000.
many coffee beans?
Yes.
Like
beans.
I'm gonna go.
So, Christine, if you're playing Heavy Metal Beer Club, you guys playing at home, put your answers up there. Let's see what you guys think.
4,000 seems like a lot, but
I hope I'm
1,000
right.
seems
It's
like
gonna make me look
nothing.
really bad. I said,
You're
I
not
hope
the
I'm right.
one.
I'm gonna look really bad.
We're gonna look really bad. Well, you've never counted the beans. I hope you didn't.
I'm not a bean counter.
Right.
That's not your job role.
This is not my
That's an awesome freaking T-shirt, right?
I'm not a
That would be an
bean
awesome
counter.
T-shirt.
That's great.
All right, so Christine's saying C. Andrea, Arthur, you guys playing? Did we lose you guys?
That could be in so many different aspects of your life too. I am not a bean counter.
All right, so the answer actually is 4,000.
Wow.
That's a
Yep. That is a lot. I was surprised. I was very surprised.
He's like, actually, it's 4,296. As per my bean counters.
I'm gonna count. The next time I roast, I'm gonna count, and I'll send you a message and let you know what exactly number.
Do it. I want to know if that's right or
Oh
wrong.
my God.
I think it probably depends on the size of the bean.
Yeah,
That's true, too.
It's
Good point.
Because
Because weight's going to be
you're
different.
gonna. Well, after it's roasted,
Do you know how much weight you lose in a bag of?
Let's not give away all of our trade secrets.
I was gonna say because it's taking a lot of the. I mean, it's taking all the water out.
It does.
No.
So essentially, that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, and that's a trade secret. So I ain't gonna tell you.
Don't say it.
Take the water out.
All right, question 2. How long does it take for a coffee tree to reach maturity? 8 years, 2 years, 5 years, or 3 years?
Coffee's on a tree.
Yes.
I thought it was a bush.
It looks like a bush.
It's a smaller tree.
It's a smaller tree,
Okay.
though. Yeah.
See, learn something new every day.
I don't know, but I'm gonna go to Hawaii one of these days and check it out.
That would be awesome. By the way, when I took this quiz, I got every answer wrong. So just so you guys know.
I'm gonna stick with C again.
All right, Christine's
sounds
saying
good.
D. What do you guys think? We got an A and
I
a
got
C.
C.
All right, the answer is 5 years.
Wow.
Okay.
Chickaboom.
I went with your answer.
Winnow,
I went 8
winnow,
years.
chicken dinner.
8 seems long though, because like citrus trees mature like 2 to 3, but they only live for like 10 years.
Yeah.
So that's why 8 seemed long.
Oh, thought it was interesting. How many cups of coffee are consumed each year in the
man.
world? In the world.
Ridiculous amount.
We got 900 million, 2 billion, 200 billion, 400 billion.
Oh yeah. In the world, done.
Going with the highest numbers. He's going right off the bat. with
4
the highest
billion.
number.
For sure.
Yeah, it's,
How many coffee
it's
cups?
ridiculous. Yeah, exactly.
Think about how many coffee cups we drink just in this house.
Think how
And
many?
that's just at home.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're really big cups. So you think about like Italy and they have the little baby cups.
Christine's throwing a wrench in your thought there. She's saying 2 billion.
In the whole world, Christine. Not just in the US. Or like
she's
the
sticking with it.
Davidson household.
The answer is 400 billion. Wow. Yeah, that's a lot of
I
coffee.
knew it was a crap ton.
For perspective, I watched a documentary on Starbucks. It was like 2014, 2015 when it was filmed. They roast, as a company, 1 million pounds of coffee a week.
Easily.
crap.
Because
we-
that goes into all their bags that go to the stores, that goes in all their,
All their
easily.
stuff,
Easily.
1 million pounds a week.
That's
There's
insane.
seven roasteries throughout the world. The biggest one is outside of Seattle, but yeah, 1 million pounds.
Easily. I
That's
mean,
crazy.
Well, they
that's insane.
Kevin was saying that they have their own farms, like they own.
Oh, that
their-
wouldn't
Oh, I would
surprise
hope
me.
that they
Yeah,
do.
yeah. That's
Come on now, you're not going to outsource that by now. So
So
can we build a farm in Arizona? Can you grow coffee here?
no. It's not the right climate. How many cups of coffee are consumed
tried.
each day in the United States?
Doesn't work. He's like, no.
400 million, 600 million, 800 million, or 1 billion?
How many cups of coffee are consumed each
Each
day,
day in the United
in the
States.
United States?
I'm going low.
You're going low on it?
I'm going to go 600.
I think I'm going to go 600 too.
4 seems low, but 8 seems high, and 1 billion seems too much if we're drinking only 400 billion a year.
Christine's saying C, 800 million. So let's see what we got. 400 million.
Hey,
Good job,
Oh, good job. See, the coffee guy should know this.
should.
Kev. Yeah, these aren't really questions that they would get asked on a daily basis.
Hey, this isn't the president's. What do you call it?
No, you'd be eating
press
ice cream.
press conference.
Press
So
conference.
You'd be
We
eating
don't
ice
know.
cream,
We
yeah.
don't know. We don't know the answers before the questions.
Right? You weren't wrote to
Jean-Claude
like what?
Pierre.
To pick up. Okay.
you know.
Enter left. Oh, and then he goes this
Did
way.
you hear about his Cliff Notes? Did you see
Yeah,
that?
I heard about that.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, did they have
What?
the questions built into the Cliff Notes? Yeah.
All the questions, every person to pick, every answer,
Yep.
and every variant of every answer.
Oh, absolutely.
Unbelievable.
Awesome.
Would you be surprised by that?
No.
Come on.
So the United States
and he
consumes
still can't
about
figure it out after that.
what percentage of the world's coffee? 1/10 of the world's coffee, 1/3, 1/7, or 1/5?
No, no, I'm gonna be. We're high up there.
We are high up there. Well, you got Europe though. Those guys drink a lot of coffee.
Yeah, they do.
So
Yeah, but they're the second third.
1/10. Yeah, a third.
Everybody's going B.
Christine, what do you
What do you
think?
got, Christine? Christine's our go-to because she
knows everything.
usually always nails these
B.
quizzes. Going B? It's 1/5.
Nuh-uh. That's really low.
Yeah. I was surprised. Right?
I think someone's cheating.
Yeah, I think that's right.
The average United States adult drinks about how many cups of coffee a year?
Not
100,
including the Davidson.
250, 400, or 500.
Oh, there it goes.
I'm easily at 500.
Oh, pfft. You're at 500 already, and it's only April.
Stop it. It's not nice.
Nothing wrong with that.
But what do you define as a cup, too, though? Is it a standard
Okay,
cup
wait a minute.
measurement? You know,
I think it's 8 ounces. I think that's
That's a
that's average,
technically
right?
cup.
Technically a
So
coffee.
4 of these
yeah.
is 8 cups
Two.
coffee.
300.
All right, pick. Come on.
Christine's saying C. She's going
I was
for it.
gonna
Oh,
go
you
with
guys
C.
are going
He's
C,
doing
too.
math.
We're C's all the way across the board.
C's.
C to C.
And you would be right. It is 400,
And the
Good job.
Davidson household is a 1 in front of that.
right? About what percentage of United States adults begin their day with a cup of coffee? 1/4, 1/3, half, or 2/5? I don't know why they put 2/5 in there, but just to throw you off.
Because I needed a D.
Right? They needed a D. So what percentage of United States adults begin their day with a cup of coffee?
I'm going to say half. I'm going to go half.
I think half.
Not most people end it like
You're going
you
a
do.
third, Kev?
Yes.
Christine's got half,
Christine's got C.
and that is the answer. 1/2. Like I said, I failed every one of these questions.
I'm just thinking of all the healthcare workers, and I'm like, oh, yep, mm-hmm.
Now,
That's
James
function.
is going to know this one. What European country consumes the most coffee? Italy, France, Norway, or Finland?
Ooh, Finland.
And this is actually a repeat question. We've had it on the show before.
What?
Yep.
This is a John question?
Yep, this was another question.
I think it's
I'm going to go Finland. Because I just like to say Finland.
it could be A. I could be like half A, but I'll go.
They don't let you pick
I'll
2.
commit. I'll commit.
They don't let you pick 2. I try to do it all the time.
We're
They yell
going
at you.
France?
Yeah, we're going.
You're going Finland, huh?
I'm going to go Finland because I like Finland. Christine,
What do you think, Christine?
A with a question
Ooh,
mark.
it's going to Italy. Okay. Okay. Well, believe it or not, it is D. It is Finland.
Yes!
Is it?
Yep.
No way.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yep.
I got to go to Finland.
He's all, I
new
take it back. I'm not
customers.
going to Hawaii.
exactly.
Book my flight.
Right.
Done. I'll get you a hotel over there.
So this was an interesting question. I know I really don't understand the question so much about what percentage of all coffee consumed is instant coffee. They talking about like the Folgers instant? Like
Yeah,
you know,
like
Yeah, where you
instant
scoop
coffee.
it in.
Mix it up.
So half, a third.
When
fifth,
I'm going to ask
or
a
10th.
question.
Yeah.
When was this
Right.
done?
I don't know. It was pretty recent on the Google search. So
It's an age. This is an age thing because
Absolutely.
my grandfather
All day long.
had a cup of coffee with
And it was
buttermilk
always instant.
and Tabasco every single morning.
Instant coffee, never
In
real
ice.
coffee, always
In
instant.
ice.
really,
Yep. Yeah, he'd get up and he had the glass Folgers instant jars. Remember
Yeah.
they had the
glass and
silhouette.
Yep.
And he'd fill that up with put ice in it. He'd put about this much buttermilk and about of Tabasco
wow,
every single day.
That sounds delicious.
that does sound good.
I just like Tabasco. Though.
So what do you got? Yeah, what are you going?
I think I think
I'm gonna go a third.
I think this is
I'm going to go
thing
a
that's-
10th because I hope to God it's at least that low.
If it was recent, I'm gonna.
So it is a 10th.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. They're aging out.
It's all. I would
Yeah.
say it's all the
They're
grandparents.
aging
Yeah.
out. Right. Exactly.
All right, last question. What percentage of coffee drinkers prefer their coffee black? Is it
Sorry.
30%,
Almost threw up in my mouth.
40%, 50%, or 60%?
Dude, 30 is the low number. 30 is the low number.
I think a lot more people drink a black.
I hate to say it, I'm gonna go kind of high. Like I think it's a decent amount, especially with all the health stuff now. Like people aren't adding all the crap to it, which is gross. I mean, if you're gonna know,
All right, we got 2 C's, we got a B.
Christine's gonna
Wait
go
for
with.
Christine.
I gotta doll mine up.
I should have put the theme.
Christine's
up
going
there.
B. 40%.
She's going B. And you guys would be right. 40%.
Oh, dang
Nice
it.
job, Christine.
40%.
Nice job.
She's so good.
Yeah, she knows her
She's
stuff.
so good.
All right, that's
that
it.
was awesome. Thank you.
No, thank you.
That was pretty cool.
And wasn't that fun? Yeah, we like everybody likes the quiz of the week.
Yeah.
We have a good
Good
time
job.
doing it.
Did you know?
so.
Did you know that we were doing what? It was
Tuesday quizzes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Two-stamp Tuesday trivia.
Yeah.
Trivia. Yeah.
You were doing, or you still doing?
Still
it?
No, we're
Okay,
still
yeah.
doing it. We
Good.
used to do 2-stamp Tuesday, and then we went, oh, let's make
Trivia
them work
Tuesday.
for it.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Give it to
yeah.
them.
No, that's
right.
awesome.
Don't
Make
just-
them answer a question.
Hey, and they've all been pretty much patriotic question, right?
Yeah. Everyone between Arizona history questions, American history questions, guns and ammo questions, or coffee questions.
That's awesome.
That's very cool.
That's so
Yes.
cool.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's
know,
neat.
That is cool.
Kevin, what percentage of the people coming through get the question?
It's like so bad.
Is it really
It's
bad?
like 15%.
Wow.
Yeah,
We're
so, I mean,
terrible at
we're
like
terrible.
history.
Oh god. Oh, it's
So bad.
and
But
I-
that's good though, because now you're bringing those one little, especially I'm assuming you tell them the answer after they get it wrong.
Yes.
So it's
Educating.
learning that stuff. Yeah.
I'm doing what the education system has failed to do.
But we're terrible.
That's what I
at
tell
that.
everybody.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, sorry, just trying to make you better. I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
So, do you notice a difference in age of who gets the questions right, especially the history questions
No,
it's just random.
it's just
across the board?
yeah. It's,
Wow.
I can tell you the people who are gonna get it and who are not gonna get it.
Yeah.
Really?
I know.
That's
my
crazy.
customers.
Like you
much
can
know.
feel it.
Well,
Yeah.
he knows. We get a lot of.
So you have a ton of.
We have a lot of. Repeats.
That's awesome. I love it.
I've got a lot of people that will actually come with their own question for me.
Really?
Yeah. So
Oh.
we go, like,
What do you
different-
get when you fail?
That's a banter.
I
Like,
give
do you have to give them extra stamps?
I do. I give an extra. I give an extra one because
You're
That's
like,
awesome.
and I suck. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah. Like, I haven't had my coffee yet. I don't know what you want from me, but yeah.
I know. You're like, I didn't get my coffee in the morning.
See, you guys can do coffee tasting out on your patio there, and you can do flights of coffee like they do flights of beer.
Yep.
You could have like
Oh my God.
coffee testing Thursdays or something like that, right?
Here we go again.
That'd be
There's another idea.
ideas.
That'd be freaking awesome.
Yeah.
That is a really
The
good
double
idea.
T's tasting
That's
Thursdays?
Actually, really good idea for an event.
You get a lot of people to do it.
I can
That's
tell you
an
all day
event.
long, you put your coffee tasting in your wedding venue, there will be people from all over that sign up for that.
Yeah, you guys are going to really be blown away.
And I
by
got a hotel that can help you,
That's right.
stick up
You do.
people when they stay.
We have some really cool antiques that are coming our way that we negotiated for in a purchase of the company. That is really cool.
Oh,
It's
that's cool.
Really, really cool. I'm not sure where exactly we're going to display them, but Jeff had some really awesome stuff.
That's so cool.
Some
original cappuccino machines from Italy.
Really,
that's
that's
so
cool.
cool.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah, 'cause
takes
where
up
do you
about
put
this whole
'em?
table.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it would take up this table pretty much.
An old roaster, an original.
That'd be
roaster.
cool to somehow put it on a table that moves that you could bring out for those coffee tastings.
Yeah, and it's gonna be kind of a display piece. It doesn't. It would take way too much money to make it actually work, and it has
Yeah.
to be custom parts. But
Yeah.
we're gonna make it do something cool, so you can kind of see the idea of how it used to go. But
That's
yeah,
cool.
and then the roaster is. So coffee roasters evolved from popcorn roasters.
Oh, okay.
So same idea. So
Yeah.
there's a roaster that we got, and it's got the name of the popcorn roasting company on it.
Oh,
and then
that's
it's
so
a
cool, 'cause they're the
original
ones who
coffee
made 'em.
roaster. Yep.
That's awesome.
That's so
That's really
neat.
freaking cool.
Yeah,
That's super cool.
Try and get that one working so I can kind of do some.
Because that would be cool. Yeah.
Right. So
And that one shouldn't be as hard as the other one.
no, it's
You could
Just-
you
very
could turn that
basic
into your
idea.
sample. You could turn that into your sample roaster, couldn't you?
Right.
I didn't realize that all roasteries have sample roasters, so they sample all the beans that come in, like so that they make sure that the profiles and all the
Yeah.
the flavors and the aromas and everything are correct. So they'll do a small sample roast.
Yeah, out of the bag or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and sample roasters are just almost as expensive as regular roasters.
Right.
For God's sake.
Right. You're like, it's this
Yeah,
big.
Kevin's like, we need to get a sample roaster. I'm like, how much is that? And he's like, told me. I was like, what?
He's all $300 cheaper than the other one. You're like, wait, what?
Yeah, exactly.
Here, this one is 8 feet tall. The other one fits in your pocket. What?
Right. I don't need another car. What are we gonna do here?
That's crazy.
So, no, that's cool.
Well, I definitely want to do, once you guys get up and running, I'd love to do an episode just dedicated to you guys and what you do and kind of do a tour of the roasting and stuff, but without giving away your secrets or anything like that. But
Oh, I just want to sit there, smell a vision.
definitely do an episode about that because I think people would be fascinated by that. So,
Well, and then
I'll
like,
do a full roasting session. I mean, that'd be
yeah.
cool
be
to kind
awesome.
of show you the process of how it goes.
Well,
love
and
to
then
see
how you
that.
pick your beans, like what you think into it, how you get into it, what you're tasting, what you're looking for, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
That'd be a great episode. That'd
Yeah.
be fun to do. So, well, cool guys.
I'm excited.
I'm really glad you guys came on tonight.
Yes.
it was a lot of
Thanks
fun.
for asking us over.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
It was like I said, it was a long time coming.
Yes.
Having you guys on.
Yes.
So, and
We had to
and-
get through gun season.
and we appreciate your sponsorship to us.
busy.
We really do. So if you guys, if you're in the market for some good coffee, go check it out. Order it online.
Christine, they'll ship
AmazonCoffee.com.
it to you.
We got to bring, if we go to Ohio, we got to bring Christine.
Oh,
some.
100% got to bring her some.
Absolutely have to.
Where's Christine at in Ohio?
Crap, she told me. It's southern
Okay.
Ohio.
Our family's all from my mom and her whole family are all from northern Ohio, around Elyria and Oberlin. The Sims family farms
Where is that?
are still up there.
That's
It's
cool.
40 miles southeast of Lake Erie.
Oh, okay.
So it's
it's not-
Cleveland West.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
So, we're Brook Park, Berea.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, I
That's
think
where
I
we're going.
actually knew that.
That's where we're going.
I like Berea.
My cousin just moved to. Oh crap! I can't think of where it is. It's a city I don't know, but it's south before you get to Cincinnati.
Okay.
So she's down there. That's where she's.
So
gonna catch
Christine's
that.
in
So we're gonna be out there.
Dillonvale.
There it is.
Jefferson County.
There you go. Yep. Yeah, they're in
I was like, it's south. It's 2 hours away. We looked it up because we're gonna go see her when we go there.
cool. Yeah, they're in Lorain County.
Okay.
And,
okay.
And they've had farms up there since
Forever.
18.
Oh wow.
I'm thinking in the 60s, 70s is when they first came over on the boat.
Yeah.
There's a really good story there too. Someday we'll
there.
we'll tell that story. That's how our family started in the United States was colorful,
Alrighty then.
very colorful.
And well, that we'll leave your
With that
imagination to
note-
go.
Yeah, yeah.
So thanks again, guys. Thank you so much.
You're
again,
welcome.
thank you to
Thank
our
you.
audience. Thanks for jumping in tonight. We will be back.
Thanks, guys, for hanging out with us.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate it. And next week we'll have Andrew and Arthur on talking about Title 42 going away, and we'll talk about what's going to happen with our immigration after that. So, so stay tuned, guys. We'll see you. Have a great rest of the week and have a great weekend. See you next time.
Bye.